We are back. I am Ray. That is Keith. How are you doing,
That's
Keith?
me.
Yes.
I'm glad that you introduced us this time.
You know, I'm fucking glad too, man. I'm really
Uh,
glad. The
Really hoping that you're gonna hold it together this podcast.
I've heard there's retardation has been going around in San Diego, and I had a mild case of it last week. Thankfully, I took my vitamins and my minerals, and I'm back. My brain is working, including
My
some.
lighter's not working.
Yeah, and our guest lighter is definitely not working.
And our guest lighter, who's belongs to our guest, I hope. No fun, apparently. He's no fun at all. No fun Johnny on Twitter.
What's up, y'all? God damn it.
From Austin. Lighters in Austin have caught the retardation from San Diego. Do you need to go get another lighter? You can go get another lighter if you want.
Yeah, you.
I don't even know if I have one.
Turn the fire extinguisher upside down, and then pull. And then that might work. Like if it's upside down, it might work the opposite way, right?
Fuck.
Or you could throw the lighter.
It doesn't work. And I know I don't have another one.
So your name on Twitter is finally being explained.
No fun.
Not only no
No.
fun, but slightly angry towards lighters. Watch out,
Yeah.
Bit Corporation. Johnny is out to get you. So,
That was that's a whole nother story.
yeah. Well, we
What's
got
up, y'all?
time, man. We can get into stories. We can get into all that. So what's going on, man? The gentleman on our show, formerly known as Organized Chaos,
Formerly known as
like 100 other names.
yeah.
Uh,
One. It's the one. It's not changing.
Is
Man, I really need to get a lighter.
Go get a lighter, man.
Go do it.
Do
We
it.
got-
Do it now.
All right.
Yeah. We'll just like pretend. This is
Let's just be real quiet
just-
the whole time he's gone.
well, but we still have a show to go. Keith.
Oh,
we're
yeah,
still like
that's-
live and we're recording,
Oh,
and I
crap.
don't like editing. Okay.
You love it.
Which I don't think that episode is up on YouTube yet. It's on Vimeo, but it's not on YouTube.
What episode?
The one I had to edit.
I don't know about that.
I know you don't know about that, but I know about that. And the people that have internet can find out about that if they want. So what's been going on with you, Keith?
Same shit, different week, man.
Dressed up all nice, got a collared shirt on. I think this is the first time I've seen a collar around your neck.
I just put it on for work this morning and didn't take it off.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
It's called not having clean t-shirts.
I know that
It's-
I
so
wear
you gotta
like,
bust into the collared shirts every once in a while,
Yeah.
just out of laziness.
hey, it's good that you have those guys laying around, because it makes people think the opposite. You're wearing a nice shirt. They're not thinking like that's his last shirt. If you're wearing like a shitty shirt, if you're wearing a shirt like this that has like holes in it, people
Yeah,
will
they're
be
like,
thinking
that dude only has one shirt.
that dude must need to do the laundry or find a place to live
Yes,
off the street.
That poor fellow's
Back,
homeless.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
And couldn't find a lighter.
Couldn't find a lighter? Did you find adequate fire creation?
No, but it's like 95 degrees out there. If I had a fucking magnifying glass, I might be able to like.
No
S-
You know.
stoves.
Huh?
No stove.
No, I'm not at home, man. I'm still at work. Well, I'm at
Yeah. Oh,
my office.
you kind of look like you're in either an ice fishing shack from this perspective. All right, shack's a
Ooh.
little bit bigger. But I
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah, it's a little office that I work out of here at the venue.
Nice.
So let's get into that. Let's get into where you're working now.
Yeah, I work at I'm just gonna be looking through my bag as we talk.
That's all right.
Because I gotta find a lighter.
You multitask away, man.
I work for a music venue, and I do production and like concerts.
Hmm.
You know.
Out
And,
out in Austin.
Yeah, here in Austin, it's called The Backyard. You can check it out online at thebackyard.net. We've been in business for 22 years, 93.
Hmm.
We'll be 22 years next year. I guess it's 21 years now. But I've been here for like 4 years, off and on. Oh, shit.
Boom.
Matches. Knew I had something. Yeah, I got these while I was in Canada at my buddy's house.
Canadian matches.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
I hear those matches are really polite.
They're called Redbirds.
You know.
So yeah, I mean, we do shows, we do private parties, we do all kinds of shit.
That's cool. So, and you've been there off and on. What do you do there? You book the talent. You do.
I don't do the booking.
Uh huh. This is a big venue, right? This is not like.
Yeah, it holds 7,500 people.
Yeah, that's kind of big.
Yeah, it's fairly large. I do all the production, so like it's basically middleman work, man. So it's like talking to the sound companies. You deal with the artists, but you don't deal with them directly. You deal with their management.
Yeah.
Or their tour manager or whoever. I mean, I don't deal with the artists or the talent agency that sells the artist. I deal with, tour guys.
So basically, their manager comes in, or their tour manager, and says, "We want the sound set up like this. We want the lights like this." And then you turn around and go to the sound lighting company and say, "Hey, this is what they want."
What we need. Yeah. Well, it's basically they give you a rider, is what they call it, and it's got all the information on it, and you normally throw it out the window so that you don't have to pay for all that shit because it's expensive. Not really. I mean,
like they want what? Fuck them.
Yeah.
Brown M&Ms.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really gotten anything like that. Although we did Huey Lewis and the News, the guy from Back to the Future that did the song or whatever, and they wanted or Huey, the guy, the main guy, wanted Huey.
Such a manly name.
Yeah, he wanted 12 brand new pair of tidy whities.
What? One for each song?
I guess because he needs to, like, during set change or some shit, or during the intermission, he needs to have, like, a fresh pair of...
So he shits his pants on stage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that he does that, because he was actually a really
Maybe
nice
he needed one for him and then one for the rest of the news.
Either that, or they want to just fucking rape every venue that they go to for a bunch of free shit.
He does his clothes shopping venue to venue. He's I want some underwear.
He owns a lot of stock in Hanes, and he's just like, this is how we're going to build the stock up, 12 pair at a time.
Next week, I need some jeans.
Yeah.
Next week, collared shirts.
Yeah. He's just a really nice guy that shits his pants. Those guys exist, too. I mean, you don't have to be a jerk to shit your pants.
Yeah.
You could just have
it's from the new drug that he always sings about.
Yeah.
It's a drug.
Yeah.
And this drug just happens to make him shart a lot on stage.
Yeah. Or he listens to this show, because this show can cause anal leakage. So I've heard.
It is in the disclaimer at the end.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Sorry.
I haven't listened to any podcast in quite a while, so forgive me.
Fucking.
It's
this
been a while.
podcast is over. All right, guys.
I feel
well,
so offended.
And that's been another episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast.
All right, man. See y'all later.
That was Johnny. No fun, Johnny. Really made his name.
I'm so offended. I'm gonna fucking move to Texas.
Good, because I'm leaving.
Everybody's leaving. Hold on.
No,
Keith is moving in the fall to Houston. Where are you going? Are you leaving? Are you actually leaving? Oh.
But I am moving to Houston. I was just
Are you really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I live in Ohio.
Yeah, but why would you move to fucking Houston, man?
Because
Houston
because my stepdad's parents have a condo there, and his dad died, and his mom's in a nursing home.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So it's I mean, he was old, and that's what happens.
People do that.
But yeah, so he wants to keep the condo, but he doesn't want to pay someone else to take care of it.
Yeah.
So if I go down there,
comedy, right?
Just pay utilities, and then my comedy will be. I'll have much more access to places to play than I do right now.
Yeah. So it's like from zero
to hero
to some. Yeah.
To some
for sure. And heat.
It's like it'd be on the west side, in a very
like near Katy and shit.
Kind of right. It's pretty close to George W. Bush Park, and it's actually like the backyard. Like if I walk out the back of the condo, it's the country club that actually leads into George Bush Park.
Oh, you fucking rich kid.
Hey,
Yeah.
stepdad's family.
Hey, fuck it, man. Go with it. I mean, shit. Do you play golf?
No, I did in high school, but that was just a reason to fuck off and smoke cigarettes and dope on the golf course.
Dope. I haven't heard anybody call it dope in so long.
Dope.
Ohio's a little bit
But when
behind.
you're 16, you're smoking dope.
Yeah, that's true.
Grew up in a
Fucking
village.
Dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I'm excited about the move and everything. But
Well, that's cool, man. That's cool. I mean, to stay, like, I don't know. Houston is, I got some cousins that live there, and it's always just like, I don't know where to look. I'm either like looking at you or at Ray, or should I look at the camera? It's like
You can
fucking
look
with me.
look wherever you want. It
I
doesn't
don't
matter.
even
I don't know
I don't
where I
even
look either.
for half the time.
This is like the first time I've fucking done the video thing. What was I saying? Oh, I got some cousins
yeah.
that live in Houston, and it's kind of hood, man. Like, it's kind of thuggish, rugged.
I've seen a lot of videos, heard a lot of rap songs. It seems like
Done your research.
they're fucking popping off in Houston, but I'm also on the like I said, by the country club on the west
Yeah,
side.
you'll be fine over there, man.
I don't have to go to the south side or any of the other bad places because it's usually the south side.
The only times that I've been to Houston was to pick up drugs, so that's probably why it seemed like a shitty part of town. Or
Yeah,
like
'cause
a
we're probably
shitty-
going to the
crazy.
shittiest part of
Yeah.
You're like, man, this sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't know. With Garza lives there, Robert Garza and Mick.
Yeah, I went to Mick's house. I know Mick. I've met him. He lives, I think, in Sugarland or Pearland.
Yeah, it's
There. It's-
something like that. But he wouldn't live that far away from where I would be moving, like 15, 20 minutes.
yeah.
And so, like, I could always hook up with those dudes and get, learn the ropes. Plus, get in tight with the Mexicans.
There you go, man. As long as you get in with the Mexicans, you'll be all right. 'Cause, you know, they're taking over down here.
Yeah, there's a few of them in Houston.
Spilling over the border like crazy.
Yeah.
Keith, you'll get a tan.
What's the reaction in Texas about that shit? Is
What's the what?
the reaction in Texas about the whole border crisis? Like, because I know Texas is a very Republican state.
Fuck, I don't know,
The
man. I don't watch the news. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have cable. I don't have any of that shit, man. I don't pay attention to any of the mainstream stuff that's going on. There's always been Mexicans crossing the border.
Well, no, it's like an epidemic of children being sent up from like Guatemala and some Central American countries.
Yeah, that's the thing too, man. A lot of people always say that it's Mexicans, and it's really not
Anywhere,
always Mexicans.
No,
anywhere
they're just-
south of the border.
They're just crossing through Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
they
doesn't-
just look Mexican.
There's a whole
They speak
continent.
Well,
Yeah.
you got to think of it in terms of white America. If you're brown skinned and you speak Spanish,
Oh
they
yeah.
don't fuck where you're from. You're Mexican.
They're getting like riled up for the new elections in a couple years. They're like, well, we got to get the old, there's a problem with all the brown people coming over the border. We have to bring that up. They got to bring up all the same old shit. That's like a standard argument for my whole lifetime. It's always been a fucking argument.
That's
all
bullshit,
immigrants.
though, man. Because the fucking people that come from Mexico do all the shitty jobs that nobody wants to do any goddamn way.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's like George.
All these
Bush said
companies
that-
hire them too.
Nobody
That's not
wants
it.
to be a fucking middleman working at a venue where you have to talk to managers and then just talk to lighting guys. It's just like nobody.
Hey, fucker, I'm half white.
He's like, I've got papers. Fuck you.
So the other half is okay. That's the
Look, you see the difference? In
holy
quality?
shit!
Oh,
Blew out
yeah.
the camera almost.
Half
it
white.
is. It just had like a flash
Yeah.
effect on it.
It's actually
Lens
I'm seeing
flare.
spots now. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I mean, I see spots when I look in the mirror, but now I saw him looking at you, so that was weird. Anyway,
weird.
I am weird.
He is weird.
Thank
I
you
know.
for remembering. It's been a while.
No shit, man.
I haven't
think
changed-
The last time I was on here was you had a different co-host. What was,
Justin.
Where's
Yeah.
he at?
He got
I murdered him to become the co-host.
yeah. We're not.
Did you really?
There can be only one.
I mean, the statute of limitation. When can we talk about that? I don't know. I mean, nobody will
just did.
find him. Well, that's true, but nobody listens to you.
Exactly.
this is actually so much nicer. You know, I love Yuck Nasty and those guys, but you get on their fucking podcast and it's
chaos.
Just like,
yeah.
So it's like donkey noises and fucking hummingbirds and
yeah.
I love those dudes, but I've described their podcast as Tourette's, the podcast.
Yeah, man, it's so fucking wild and crazy.
Yeah.
It's a whole bunch.
But it's fun. It's fun, but it's hard to be on.
Yeah,
listen to it.
Well, it's because you're not live. Like, two people, what I've noticed, my experience as an old podcaster, that when Johnny stands up to adjust his pants, we all can see it. But also, that when you have two guests that are live with each other and then remote with Skype, it throws everything off. All the timing's off. And then you can't hear, like when they're doing a bit, it's hard to hear on the other end.
Yeah,
but
they're real comedic, man. I mean, I think that they should not have guests.
Most of the time, I don't think they usually do. I think that's just them most of the time. But it's fun. Like, once you go on there a couple times and you get used to it, you know, it's just, you let them take the reins and you just kind of sit back and kind of go.
Look at you, fucking Ray. You're like all pro. You got a fucking little arm that has your microphone on it, and it's got some furry looking shit on it.
Yeah, it calms me down.
Man.
Calms me down. I just think of good things when I get nervous. I'm like, oh Jesus.
Keith is like sitting outside on the porch or some shit.
Basically. Yeah. And you're in a very large fishing cabin.
Yeah, production office
in Austin.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
But he's ready for any fires to break out with the fire extinguisher.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's safety's first on this podcast.
You know what, man? The fire marshal comes through, and you got to have one in every room.
Got to.
So.
Yeah. So you're liking your job there, or what? Because last time,
man. What happened last time? What?
Last time you weren't working there. You had like a different type of day job.
Yeah, I was at a pharmacy, man, and that was a little too corporate for me. You know what I mean? Like that's one reason why that's one reason I stopped doing the podcast, was because a guy that fucking listened to it had it playing inside the pharmacy while we're filling pills, and I'm talking about fuck pharmacies and this and that, and doing drugs and my past, and I actually got pulled in and had a fucking drug test, and it was a whole big scandal, man.
Fucking scandalous.
Yeah, it was weird, man. So, I quit that and came back here, I guess, in 2011.
Yeah.
2012, maybe. And this is a little, the business that we're in, if an artist wants to do whatever it is that he does, meaning drugs, I'm not going to fuck with him, you know what I mean? It's none of my business. If people smoke pot at our venue, it's not like we advocate it, but I normally just go up to people and say, hey, man, like, put it out, because I don't know who else is around here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a little more open here, man. I can do what the fuck I want. Not necessarily at my job, but outside of work.
You can be your own man.
You damn right.
Damn right.
Anymore with
podcast, I'll do a podcast.
Anymore with the concert venues and everything, like, since vapor pens got so popular, it's almost just too easy to smoke. I mean, it barely smells. They look like e-cigarettes.
I had a fucking cop tell me one time at the venue, we were doing a show, and he was telling me about vapor pens, and he was like, yeah, they put fucking liquid heroin in them and all this shit. And I was just like, no,
that's not what
Yeah.
Yeah. I always love talking to a cop when you hear him say something outlandish about maybe a subject that you know a lot about, and you're like, wow, you believe that? Like, you're just going with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're followers, man. They get told.
That's what they want. They don't want someone to think for themselves. A police officer has to follow the laws by the book. They want a follower. And that's why that we see this goddamn police. There's a new police brutality video every fucking day when I get on the internet.
I'm sure.
I hate them.
Yeah. They're all over the place, man. It's like every hour there's probably.
They just killed that guy, man. You know what I mean? And they let the guy off, didn't they? Like, didn't they let the fucking?
I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know what really happened to that dude. I think it's still under investigation. But they declared that he died from the chokehold.
Yeah, they declared it a homicide, right?
Yeah, that dude jumped him from behind. It's right on video, and and then I've read a few articles of people like on cop sites and stuff like that, like police advocate sites, where everyone's just like, that fat fuck got what he deserved, and if he would have just
that fucking stupid ass
if he'd have just fucking surrendered, not resisted, that wouldn't have happened. It's like, what the fuck were you arresting him for?
Yeah, and if the cop's arm wasn't around his neck, then, the blood or oxygen going to his brain wouldn't have stopped going. It's like, you could point fingers.
But I mean, governments use the same excuse for wars. I mean, I just watched the thing on Israel, and they're like, the reason we've killed 80% civilians, it's Hamas's fault. They keep hiding beside people, so we just drop a huge missile on that place, and I mean, yeah, we got the one guy we were after, but I mean, hey, it's Hamas's fault. He hit, like, everyone personally represents Hamas.
The casualties of war or whatever.
Yeah.
And how are they, I was watching Rogan's podcast, and he had Abby Martin on, and she was talking about the way that they're pinpointing these people is the same way that we do with drone strikes, is just off their cell phone.
Yeah.
So whoever's holding the cell phone of a person who may have called someone in Hamas, their whole family might get bombed.
Yeah, or you go take a shit at a buddy's house, and then next thing you know, while you're sitting on the shitter watching YouPorn, like most grown men do, boom, bomb blows up the whole house and everybody else in it. And you didn't even get to finish watching the video.
See, we're like having a serious conversation, and you're just some bullshit like that.
I mean we can talk about propaganda. We could talk about the news.
But I don't know. I think it's fucked up, though, that all these Israeli guys come on and they're like, well, fuck them.
Yeah.
And that's basically, they're like, it's war. We've done so much. We tell them that we're going to bomb them. And then it's like, oh, yeah, but we also bombed like 4 different UN facilities after repeated calls saying, this is a UN refugee camp. There's no militants here. Don't bomb us. And then 2 dudes rode by on a motorcycle, and they were like, well, we're going to hit you with a missile from a jet on your moving motorcycle right beside the refugee camp. And it killed the 2 guys, but it killed like an 8-year-old girl and 10 other people.
Yeah, but that doesn't explain why that dude was smoking a joint in Austin.
What dude?
That dude that you told's like, bro, like, just put it out. In case.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it doesn't have anything to do with it.
Not at all.
That's how this shit happens. I mean, we get a guy from Ohio, a guy from California, and a Texan, and, it's all of a sudden this fucking circle jerk of gibberish.
Yeah. See, and now that is the perfect explanation for what this podcast is.
That's pretty much our podcast in a nutshell.
Except for we just need to get a Texan on every time. Although Keith will be the Texan, and I will be the Ohioan.
No, he won't.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You won't accept me? I don't get dual citizenship?
You have to
let all these Mexicans in.
You have to be at least half brown. You have to be at least half Mexican, Keith.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I've had sex with Mexican girls. Does that count?
Yeah, we will generally welcome you as a Texan, Mr.
And I love Mexican food.
I mean, you're living next to George Bush Park.
Fuck George Bush.
Yeah, you should take a shit at that park. Just on the lawn.
I would, except for the description of the park is walking paths, bike riding paths, playgrounds, shooting range.
Wow.
Well, it's Texas.
I'm not going to take a shit next to the gun range in Texas.
Just tell them it's your gun. You're just shooting off around.
No.
You're dropping a bomb. Boom. A brown bomb. Dropping off a brown. Just go. I'm dropping off a brown bomb to get rid of all the brown people.
This podcast is live, right? Like this.
Yeah.
There's no editing or anything.
Yeah. No.
All these gibberish thoughts are all going out to everyone.
Everybody.
All 2 people that might be watching this.
There's no regrets on this because it's too late. It's way too late.
Oh, who gives a fuck, man?
But at least Austin is like, out of everywhere in Texas, Austin's like the most normal, I would say. Right?
Yeah, in a way. I mean,
compared to the rest of Texas, anyway.
Austin's slogan is "Keep Austin Weird," so I don't think we're as normal as the rest of Texas. You know what I mean? It's a little more liberal here. I mean, I don't know. It's
talking California normal, so yeah, that's exactly.
I'm just talking us normal. I'm talking us
just
normal.
a liberal town. Yeah, I guess.
The three of us, it's normal.
Yeah, it's pretty chill, man. I mean, it is changing.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of out of towners moving here. You know what I mean? And
coming over your borders.
Fucking those people from Ohio.
I'm talking more about like there's more. It's starting to turn into like a little Los Angeles, man. You know what I mean? Like they're tearing down all these fucking like really cool spots and putting condos up, you know, and making the highest and best use of the property, which is kind of sucking the culture out of Austin. In my opinion.
Have you experienced?
I think it's the popularity of South by Southwest, the commercialization of what that's become. I think is probably driving.
Oh, it's definitely become commercial, man. I mean, it's not about the artists anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh no, Ari had a big thing about like they invite all these comedians to come down, and they don't want to pay them nothing. They're just like it's an honor for you to be here, and it's like
yeah. I mean, they're taking it.
Cost me money.
I think they make like $100 million or some shit Jesus with Christ. That whole thing.
Yeah.
Or the city.
And that's what Southwest Airlines makes that money.
Southwest?
Who is the official sponsor? Because I think it's Southwest Airlines. Southwest.
I don't know.
I don't know if that's like, right.
I don't even.
I actually do.
We used to have a venue or a couple venues downtown, and I fucking hated South by Southwest because it was just. I mean, it was a week long, 2 weeks of fucking 24/7 work, man.
Yeah.
You deal with all these out of towners, and I don't even go down there, man.
Have you had any issues at your venue as far as like people wanting to change stuff? Because the backyard's kind of a unique type of venue. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, we don't do anything with South by Southwest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've never done any shows with them. Back in the day, we used to throw big shows, you know, when they would have South by Southwest to try and pull those people from South by Southwest to the venue, because I think we're probably 15 minutes from downtown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's in the hill country, and it's not a normal place. It's not like a normal venue. Like the backstage area is like a fucking campsite. You know what I mean? Like we got 3 cabins. Where the artists get to chill, and you know they have their catering and everything back here, and it's a little different than, you know, the concrete blocks that they normally go to.
You guys ever do like 2-day shows where you allow camping or anything?
No, because you know there's 38 acres here, and the majority. I mean, the venue itself is probably only 2.5, including the backstage area, 2.5, 3 acres, and the rest of it's parking. You know what I mean? Like we have to have parking for the people that come, and there's not enough space to do the camping. Although that'd be pretty cool, and we could definitely do some raves out here that would fucking accommodate that. You know.
Well, I used to go to a lot of hippie fest right after I graduated high school, so like 2000, early 2000s, and it was just fun to go to places where you could just camp out, like. You know, park at your campsite, you know, just have enough, you know, square everything off to where it can fit your car and a tent pretty much. Mm-hmm. And then everyone's got their spot. And then it just becomes a huge party that goes all night and pretty much.
You know, I went and did this festival at Woodstock called Mysteryland. And they had that where you could buy a camping spot, and then we had like fucking 9 stages. So like this one area where it was nothing but camping, and then the festival went on around it. You know what I mean? It was pretty cool. I mean, I think there was like 20,000 people there or some shit.
That's cool. I went to South by Southwest, fucking Coachella.
Coachella.
But it's like I don't understand why people go there and camp, because it's during the summertime in the desert.
It's fucking hot, like, man.
I was only there for one day. It was before they started selling you had to like buy the 3-day pass or however long it is now. And just going there for that one day was horrible. It was so fucking hot. It's ridiculous. But there's people, out there camping and shit. But I can't imagine the recovery time after doing something like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do the camping, man, because every time, it's either gonna rain or it's just so fucking hot that it rained at Mysteryland, and I felt bad for the people, man, because it was just.
I've been to a lot, unless it rains super hard. A nice rain's not that bad, but in Texas, obviously after it rains, once it stops, it gets hotter than fuck.
Well, it's after the rain, you know what I mean? When it creates the mud and all the crap. It's just, I wouldn't want to fuck camping out there.
Are you getting hit by any of that drought, or are you guys getting rain in Austin?
We're not getting any rain, man. We're getting hit big time.
Because Houston's still getting their daily rain usually because it's right on the Gulf.
Yeah. Yeah, they get rain. They get more rain than we do. I can't remember the last time it rained. Our grass is fucking dying. You know what I mean? It's like a dust bowl out there, man.
You know why that is? God. They're just not. It's all the gay people in the world.
The damn gays. They're just.
It's not. They've moved on. The gay population of the world has moved on from ruining families to ruining the water consumption, like what the reservoirs lines are at. That's because of anal sex and women licking vaginas. That's.
I still can't believe that people. I don't know what you guys' religious beliefs are, and I honestly don't care. But it's so hard for me to believe that people actually believe that shit, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, totally. It's taking this crazy belief to like the next level. Like the Vice did a thing on it where they are interviewing these farmers and stuff like that are losing their crops and all this kind of shit, and they're not able to grow anything, and it's just all they do like rain dances. They're doing like rain dances for Christ, and it's not working. They're
like, global warming's bullshit. These goddamn liberals, I don't know why my crops aren't growing. God's pissed off at the liberals.
I think if they made like a Christian version of Stomping the Yard for those guys, that maybe it might work. Like I just don't think God is seeing it. Like they need to be in more theaters. They need to spread this message through Hollywood. Right? Stomping the Yard, Christian style. Stomp for Christ.
Yeah, I don't.
Come on, Johnny. Don't be no fun. Come on, this is people dancing for rain. It might work, man. It might work. You don't know. I'm not a scientist.
I
don't think it's gonna work though. I think they need
to. Some people in my family that like try and tell me, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. And it's like, where do you get that from?
Yeah.
Oh, the big book tells me this, and you got to ask God for all this. Ask God to show you the way, and I've done it, man. I've asked God. I've asked the devil, hey, man, you want my fucking soul?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know where a crossroads are, but just come here, bro.
Yeah, you're like, this other guy ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
So if you want something, I'm getting something in return,
gonna hedge my bets.
Have it. You know what I mean?
Praying
just
to God.
Make sure this credit card, every time I swipe it, it works, and that's it.
Yeah.
You can have it.
Nothing ever happened, man. So
fuck. I went to Catholic school for 7 years, so yeah, I had that shit browbeat into me, and even as a kid, it sounded goofy. And
fairy tales, man.
No, everyone else was believing, and I would go through spurts where I'm like, yeah, I totally believe. But I think I was just trying to be like, I didn't want to be that one person at Catholic school that's like, I don't get this.
Yeah.
You were looking for acceptance.
Yeah. I think that's part of it. A lot of people just get caught up in the community aspect of it. Like, I know for me, when I got into religion for a portion of my life, I never read the book. I've heard the stories. That's what you go to church for. Fucking dude up front with the robe reads you stories. You sing a few songs.
You can't understand them.
Yeah, you stand up. You sit. You do these things.
He only reads the good stories, though. That's what fucks people up about religion if they don't read the Bible themselves.
Oh yeah.
They only go into church and hear like uplifting stories of shit that happened in the Bible. The preacher, unless they're crazy fundamentalist, doesn't usually get up there and throw out the fire and brimstone that most of the Bible is. Like, he doesn't go up there and be like, and if your kids don't listen, you take them to the edge of town and you stone them to death. Like
do not ever wear cotton and polyester, my friends. Never wear 2 types of fabric. Do not mark your skin with the devil's ink, my friends, my family. Don't do it.
Yeah, tattoos,
that doesn't happen.
Fucking all that shit is against the Bible. They never sit up there and say that.
It's silly, man. It's like the most silliest fucking thing, and I love Bill Maher's Religulous thing, man, because
that's one of my favorite.
Shuts those fucking people down, and
just by asking questions too.
Yeah,
like
he's not even fucking getting like angry or like loud with him. He's
not like there is no God. He's asking questions, and their answers are, it's gibberish. The most. I mean, he's intending it to be funny, but for those other people who he was interviewing, they were the most unintentionally funny people ever.
Oh yeah, it's the same reason people go get fast food, go get frozen dinners. They don't want to have to do the work of preparing a meal. They don't want to have to do the work of like thinking for themselves and like coming up with like, oh, I could just be a good person and do good things and just like live my life and not have to worship this like weird Harry Potter thing. That's this book where these stories tell me how to do everything that I need to do. You know, it's just people are lazy.
I think they need that shit to hang on to. You know what I mean? Yeah. They need that comfort to survive, man. Like
it's a security blanket for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. And I think it's okay. You know, if that's what you want to believe in, that's fine with me, man.
Yeah.
Just as long as you're not being Fred Phelps, you know.
Just don't pretend
don't push it on me and don't tell me.
Yeah.
You know.
It's okay to eat fast food. It's okay. You're gonna live an unhealthy life, but just don't pretend to be a fitness expert. You know.
There you go.
Like you believe in that shit, that's fine. But don't tell everybody you know the right answer of how to live your life. Because
and there's no other answer.
Exactly.
This is it.
We got it
in the book.
Yeah.
That's it. Even though it was translated over 100 times and it's fucking 2,000 years old.
Yeah. And sure I love the part about all the books of Jesus, they weren't written. The closest one to his life was written 30 plus years after he was dead.
Yeah.
But you can play the telephone game in a room with 10 people right now, and you won't. Whatever you whisper to that first person won't be what comes out the other side.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you're given 30 years of people with no scientific knowledge of retelling stories by campfire, and then someone finally writes it down, which the books don't even match up. Like some of the stories are the same, but none of them are really the same. No. So they just pick and choose, and like since the names of the books sound like the names of his apostles, people are like, yeah, those people were his buddies, and they wrote his story. No,
totally,
no one even knows who wrote them.
Yeah.
Like not at the end they didn't put their signature. It's the book of.
If you just watch like my example used to be Jackie Chan movies back when he was relevant. It's like you see the translations. Or you watch I was watching The Ultimate Fighter Brazil. You see the translations of what they're saying in English versus what they're not saying this shit. Like you see somebody cage side cheering on a fellow Brazilian fighter. They're not just chanting victory. Like you will be victorious. That's not. I mean, there's a lot missing in translation, and that's with the technology we have today. Imagine if you had to translate that shit. Like, I remember watching an episode of Tough 30 years ago. I'm going to translate what they said then into English.
Under candlelight.
Yeah. And I never actually... Keith writes this 30 years from now because he heard me talk about it on the
and then podcast. He told Johnny, and then Johnny told another dude, and then that dude told another dude, and then that dude told me, and then I wrote it down 30 years later.
But, dude... He wine is his blood,
that dude
okay?
Jesus. A hole through the other guy's face is how the knockout, he kicked his leg completely off. Like this was the
it's
finale.
The fisherman, man. It's the fisherman's story. I mean, the fish is always bigger at the end of the third or fourth time that he says it. I mean, it was a 3-pound fish, and then it turned into a fucking 15-pound fish. It took him 4 hours to reel in.
That's exactly my dick story. It always gets bigger, and it always takes longer for me to come.
Sorry, everyone.
I cherish the silence sometimes in this podcast.
Yeah,
if I can make this podcast shut down at least once for a few seconds, then I'm happy. I'm a happy dude.
There you go.
So
what's up with you, man? You're moving to Detroit. Where are you moving?
I am going to move to Ohio. So not only is it crazy for somebody from Ohio to move to Texas, somebody from San Diego is going to be moving to Ohio.
Well, you trying to live the simple life or what?
I'm trying to leave the day job life permanently. So I'm selling my place here, and I'm buying a house out there, and I'm just going to do full-time art and podcasts and all that shit.
What do you do for a living now?
I sell electronics.
Oh, that's right.
At a place. Radio Shack. But yeah, so, and I'm done. I'm done. And it was supposed to be like a 5-year plan, and it's been revised many times, just like the Bible. So now it's a much shorter version, so people with short attention spans like myself can follow it.
The King Ray version.
Yeah, the King Ray version is much more streamlined, and it's going to get a lot of followers. But, yeah, man, I'm fucking done. Real estate's picking up in San Diego. It's like the one thing that happened to work out.
Yeah.
So, this is hopefully assuming the market doesn't crash again, assuming a lot of other things don't happen. But right now, that's the plan. I'm going to put my place on the market in the spring, and then when it sells, I'm just fucking moving.
Out of it.
Yep. So
that's what's up, man.
Right now I'm just getting this place ready to sell. What?
What part of Ohio?
Dayton. I know a lot of people in the area.
Is that where Izzy Rock and them live?
That indeed is where a lot of those dudes live. So
man, I was in Toronto not too long ago, and I fucking missed what's his name? Joe Orangutan and those guys. I was in Caledon, which is like 45 minutes from Toronto, and didn't have a vehicle, you know what I mean? It was all work, so I couldn't get out there, but Toronto's pretty cool, man.
I'll be close to there. Yeah, there's a lot of shit in that area. The only thing is the weather is going to be, but it's fine.
They actually have winters.
Yeah, exactly.
It was 40 below last winter for an extended period of time.
Yeah, so I get it.
40 below?
It was actually colder in Ohio than it was at the North Pole a few days.
So I'll go to the North Pole.
Below zero, 40 degrees.
Yes.
That's with wind chill, or is that just straight?
No, that's what it was, and then it felt worse.
How the fuck does that happen? Like, how do you
polar vortex is what they kept saying, but it's been
goddamn El Nino, boy. I tell you what.
It's been happening through the summer too. It's been a pretty mild, cool summer. I'll say I've turned my air conditioner on twice.
Yeah.
This entire summer.
It's fucking 98 degrees here today.
Well, I'm moving down there, so I'm gonna get all of that. I'm moving down there in the winter, so I hope it gets like down to 30 a few days. Just to see everyone down there. I'll be outside in shorts going, 30 bitches.
Keith will be like, God damn, it's hot out.
Yeah, it won't. It hardly ever gets down like that, man. Maybe 2 or 3 days out of the whole summer. I think last year.
Do you own a winter jacket?
Do I personally? No.
They call those hoodies.
I own hoodies.
Yeah.
I'll wear a hoodie, man, or I'll put on some long johns and be fine. But
dude.
I guess there was I got a Carhartt, I would say. One of those fucking Carhartt.
I know what Carhartts are. Ray didn't. He was asking what people wore because of cold weather in Ohio, and I said Carhartts. He was like, "What the fuck is Carhartt?" And I'm like, "It's."
And I forgot until you brought it up just now.
Dickies, and I go, I guess like cold
Dickies
weather.
For winter. Yeah.
Cold weather Dickies.
Right?
Yeah, in a way, it's the working man's fucking jacket, man. You know what I mean?
So I shouldn't get that because I won't be working.
They're warm.
I'll be inside. Here's one thing.
They make you look cool.
When I go there, it's not like I'm going to be commuting to a day job 5 days a week. I won't have a date.
Turn into a hermit in Ohio.
I'm practically a hermit in San Diego.
Gandalf beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see him in 5 years, fucking doing podcast shit, stacked on top of shit all over the place.
Absolutely.
Like Walmart bags of his own shit behind him.
I'm getting an extra bedroom just for my stacks of shit. Yeah. No, I'm already practicing peeing in bottles. I'm trying to go for distance right now, just in case I feel lazy.
Dude, I had a buddy of mine in North Carolina, and his dad fucking always pissed in bottles and kept it for some reason. I don't know why, but you know, I remember him always going into his dad's room and saying, "Man, you need to clean up these piss bottles. You know, you need to have a jug, like a fucking half-a-gallon jug of milk where he was pissing in it for fucking weeks at a time. I mean, he just always
be prepared.
pissed in bottles.
Yeah, I mean,
Drunk, though.
What if you need? He probably was a truck driver for a while too, because that's their MO.
No, he wasn't a truck driver. He was just a drunk old man that liked to piss in bottles.
Well, there you go. That's cool.
That poor guy, he passed away not too long ago.
It's better than if he was just pissing on the floor.
Yeah,
definitely.
Himself. I also knew a guy that used to get so shit-faced, man. I lived with him for a while. He was a millionaire, and his dad had money in Pittsburgh Steel, right?
Okay.
And somehow I got hooked up with him, and we started this home remodeling business with me and another buddy. And he bought us all motorcycles. Like, he bought me a fucking R1.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had like this whole plan to go on this cross-country trip on fucking motorcycles. But he used to get so fucked up.
Yeah, that sounds like a sober idea.
No. I actually drove the fucker from Tennessee to Texas, and it was terrible.
Yeah. No shit.
Oh my god, it was terrible. But he used to lay in this fucking, what do they call it, lazy boys?
Sure.
And he would piss on it so much that it corroded the fucking leather, like ate through the leather.
Leather lazy boy, not even like a fabric that can soak it up.
Pimp ass lazy boy.
And he pissed in it. Was he like passed out pissing in it, or was he just like in and out?
No, he's passed out. Like every night. I remember I was sitting there because it was like right over here, you know, and I was at the computer one night and I heard like dripping, you know, like water dripping.
Uh-huh.
What the fuck is that? I went and I looked under, and sure enough, this fucking old dirty son of a bitch was pissing his pants.
Damn.
Ran through fucking like $8 million in less than 10 years. And then the lucky son of a bitch, his aunt passed away and left him another $15 million.
God damn it. I should have chosen richer family to grow up
I don't think that's how that works, Ray.
Maybe I fucked up somewhere. Maybe there was a form I could have signed, and
there's only been a few kids that have ever got to like really step it up like that. You know, like
actually I wouldn't want that.
The random kids Angelina Jolie adopted.
They're going to be
fucked
up,
kids,
man.
That's winning the world lottery, right? Like if you're just a kid in Africa, like, and
all of a sudden this rich white lady comes and picks
But they don't know. They were so young. They might remember. I mean, how much do you remember as a child?
What they remember or not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
just in
the
general.
lottery of the world.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be able to read the fucking tabloids later on down, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the internet's got everything on it.
Yeah.
They can just pay somebody to read it for them.
Like,
yeah. But those people get fucked up. I mean, that's what happens. You burn through the money. When you don't earn the money.
Man, he was a fucking idiot, you know, and God looked out for him because he knew that he couldn't take care of himself.
Well,
you know what I mean?
God fucked up.
You're a smart guy, so you know you can fucking make money.
So you're saying God is a shitty financial planner?
I'm saying that God takes care of the dumb people, man. Like
I guess that's true.
Smart, you know, we're able to we have to suffer.
So I was taken care of on the last episode. Then that's how I survived. That's how we win a full 2 hours last.
I think though that I would rather be smart and poor than rich and stupid and blow through the I mean,
fuck yeah,
you're gonna have a fun time for a few years, but all right, just from the stories you're telling me, that guy probably did irreprehensible damage to his liver.
Oh man, he had this little S10, man, a fucking Chevy S10 that he would go and race, you know, like that's what he liked to do. He had a fucking 454 engine in it, and he had nitrous and the whole nine, and we'd go to the quarter mile track and race, and he'd sign up in the morning, and by the time it was time for him to race, he was fucked up. So I would go with him, and he would let me drive the truck. So I'd be out there fucking racing on the quarter mile. So it was fun for me. But, I mean, he would just fucking blow money on the dumbest shit. You know what I mean? We'd be walking through Walmart, and I'd say, man, I wish I had a Xbox. He'd be like,
how many?
Well, I'll get you one.
Yeah.
How much are they? You know, and I took full advantage of it. I kind of feel bad about it.
See, that's the guy you want to be. You want to be you. You want to be the friend of the rich guy so they can ruin their lives, and you just, you know, you can be in that vortex of like fun.
Remember
for the whole fucking winter one year, man. All I did was it was right when the Xbox 360 came out. He bought an Xbox 360 and all the games. I mean, every game that Walmart had, he bought it. And I sat there and smoked pot and fucking played Tiger Woods online the whole winter. And I think I was selling a few Oxycontins here and there for fucking side money. But, I mean, it was just so stupid.
Yeah. Damn, man. That's crazy.
Oh, and I was playing poker at the time, too, like a motherfucker, man.
Poker. Was that when poker... Because poker got popular for a little bit in, like, 02, 03 time? Was that when that was?
Nah, this was probably, like, 06.
Okay.
You know, 07.
It was still
going.
Though.
Yeah.
Still now, man. I've got house games that I go to now here in Austin, and
maybe house games, but I think it was just so much bigger when it was
Everybody
legal
was doing it.
to gamble online.
Yeah. Well, and there was like a bunch of movies, like Rounders had come out. There was like movies showing it. So like you saw tournaments everywhere. And there was the shows like the celebrity poker matches and
they
shit.
They still have that shit though, man.
Yeah, but nobody watches them though.
Yeah. It got kind of.
Somebody does.
I always watch the World Series of Poker, and
yeah,
that's when I was really into it, man. But
now there's like 50,000 people there, so like just following it, all they do is follow the big name stars or watch.
Yeah, it's definitely become like a huge deal. But it's fun, man. I love playing poker, and I'm fairly good at it. I've got a couple of house games that I go to here.
That's cool.
I'll sit there all night and start off with $100 and walk out with 6 or 7. I mean,
yeah,
not all the time. Sometimes I'll lose 100, but I always just go in with 100, and that's all I'm spending.
Yeah.
I lose it, I lose it. If not,
it's the way to do it.
I don't have the patience for poker. Like
I do, man. I'll fucking sit there.
I play a lot, and I'd sit there. My buddy have tournaments and stuff, and I'd sit there and we'd be drinking and smoking. And then, like, I don't know, about 3/4 of the way in, I'm just like, all in.
Yeah. See, I never did that, man, because I would always look at it I looked at it as work, you know what I mean? Like, I would go there to make money. Not saying that I needed the money, like, I was so broke and I was taking my last $100 to go and try and make money, but the idea wasn't like hanging out with buddies that I knew. I mean, fuck, I went last week and won like $400. But it's like people I don't know. You know, I know them from the poker game, but I don't know them outside of that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
See, I used to do the with the friends, which was fun when you're playing poker with a bunch of shit talkers, because then it's entertaining at least. Because like you see people that don't really know, like they act like they're professional poker players and they're trying to do like these super over the top like bluffs and shit. I don't know. It can be fun. It can be fun, but that was.
It can be, man. I used to be real serious into it and get pissed off and get real angry at the way certain people played, but you know, as I got older, it's just like
that would happen too. I had one buddy who would just fucking every time he just played trash, and somehow fucking like by the end you're like, fuck this, man, this is bullshit. Fucking
how the fuck would you stay in with that?
Yeah, why would you stay in? I did everything right. I over the top raised you, and you came back at me with the all in on a fucking 7-9 suit. And
7-9 is actually a pretty good hand.
It's not bad, bro. You know, even shittier than that. But still, I mean, it'd always be like, oh, hit the straight on the river card, or
They always river you, man.
And it was always that poker game, or it seemed like it, the Texas Hold'em. Like that was the one that like took off.
Oh yeah.
It's the easiest. It's the easiest out of all of them to play.
Well, I mean, like growing up, I remember playing like draw poker or 5-card stud, all that kind of shit. But it's like a lot more fun because it's like the community cards. It kind of, I don't know, it brings everybody in.
It it off, man. It makes it a whole nother game. You know, fucking regular poker, I've never really even played it. I've always played Hold'em.
Yeah.
You know, because I really like Kenny Rogers.
My friend was super into it and actually tried to like professional gamble for like a year or two, and actually like did. Yeah, I mean, he made enough money playing poker. He lived out in LA, and would go to the casinos out there and make enough money between that and online to pay his rent for, you know, about a year. But he's so hardcore. Like, we'd go there and he'd be like, all right, this hand we'll play in Omaha, and this hand, and I don't like playing with my money when it's a game I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
That ain't fun. Like, fuck this.
That's good advice, Keith. That's good advice.
You're making up the rules as you go.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
shit.
like
Or at least
I
it
don't
seems
know.
like that to you because you don't know them. But I did it for a while too in Tennessee, man. I had enough house games that I could go to that I didn't make like a fucking super great living, but
Yeah, he just
I
got
pay
by.
rent, fucking have, a couple extra $100 a week, fucking playing poker, man, at 50-cent dollar games.
Yeah.
But
So what are you doing these days? Like, what are you doing with your life when you're not working?
man, honestly, it's all been work here lately, man.
Now, does it feel like work? Do you enjoy going in there and doing your shit?
No. It doesn't always feel like work.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some days where I go in and I'm just like, fuck, man, I want to get out of here. But for the most part, it's a creative thing because we get to, if you want to move a fence or if you want to build a deck, or you know what I mean. Like I do those types of things too. It's not just production on the show level. I mean, there's stuff to do outside.
It's the Mexican side of you.
Yeah.
The white side of you is in the office. The brown side is out doing fucking work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll build a deck.
Yeah.
I'll mow the yard. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I do all of it, man. I mean, I'm not saying I do everything, but when we need the help, I call people in. But if I don't need them, fuck, I'll do it myself. I'd rather save the company money.
Yeah. It is. There's something you get out of doing just any kind of project, and finishing it and like seeing like there's a result from the work I put in. Where a lot of jobs, it's like you don't, aside from the paycheck.
Gratification.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean? Like, even here, when we came here, there was nothing. It was all just raw land.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we built a venue, and we got to see. I mean, at least I got to see people walk in on the first day.
That was like when you were young, right? How old were you?
This was 2010.
Oh, okay.
Was the first show at the new place because we moved from
Oh,
across the street. We were at another location since '93, and in 2008 he shut it down. And then in 2009 we started construction. Late 2009, and we built this one and opened it on April 25th of 2010.
That's cool.
So yeah, getting to see it fucking like go from. I remember walking through the property and him saying, yeah, the building's going to go here, and then this is going to go there. You know what I mean?
Laying it out, yeah.
Watching the whole thing come together, and it's been pretty amazing, man. It's been a good ride.
So what is it like going to venues? Because that's a unique perspective when you work at a place, and you get to see behind the scenes versus, most people who just go to venues and they just see, the presentation and that's it. So what is it? Was there a time... I guess before it opened, how did it change when you started working there? Did you notice any difference, or is it just kind of...
Wait. Maybe I just didn't understand the question.
I didn't.
I halfway through it, I was like, I don't know if this is going to make sense, but I'll throw it out there. You might as well. Fucking chum the water, see if anybody bites. I mean, did anything change now that you're working there and stuff like that? Has it changed? Just your perspective on like venues and shows and things like that. Like if you go to any other venue, you have an idea of the behind the scenes things that go on there versus everybody else.
You went to Coachella, right?
Yeah.
And you see the stages and you see the artists performing. If I go, I look at the stage and say, God damn. They've been here for 3 weeks building this, you know what I mean? Or they've been here. What kind of structure do they have? What kind of audio system are they flying? You know what I mean? Like what are they using? And people don't realize how much work goes into putting on a show.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks you guys must make a lot of money, and it's like, no.
It's super expensive. My friends and I kind of did that. No, I wasn't even really that involved, but these three girls that lived around here, it started as a house party, and they named it. It's called the Luau. But after like 3 years, like we started having to rent a stage because there were so many bands. You'd have to find a venue that would let people camp, so it'd have to change every year. And I mean, this is on a super micro scale compared to what you're dealing with, and even that was just the biggest fucking headache And then
plus,
it
is, man. It is. It's ever changing. It's ever evolving. I mean, and then you work with people that. So we do outside promoters as well. So if you want to come in and just rent the venue, you can do that. Did you guys lose video?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the egg into the butt. Oh, there you are. We
yeah,
still. Oh, well, no, we still kind of have the egg going into, but it looks like you, so it's good.
How about now?
No, you're good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, it's there's a lot of work that goes into it.
So has it jaded you as like when you go? Have you seen? Are you always like behind the scenes when there's shows going on, or do you get to go out in the crowd and watch shows?
You know, when we have shows here, man, the last time we had Willie Nelson here, I didn't even get to see him play. You know what I mean? Because there was so much shit going on. I was doing so many different things that I didn't even get to
it's
really
work.
Watch the show, man. I mean,
sure.
because you got a radio, and if something's going on up front, or sometimes you got dumb people that are working with you that don't know how to handle certain situations. They call you, and you got to be there. I mean, it's all a bunch of problem solving, really.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, like, to me, that's how I see it. It's just being able to think on the fly and get shit done when it needs to be done. Because shit happens,
And the show must go on.
So are you more or less likely to like go see shows just in general since you work at a venue?
It'll have to be something really special for me to want to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially to another venue. I mean, I should be more involved in it than what I am, but I'm so engulfed in our place that it's difficult for me to. I go to other shows and I feel awkward.
Who would it have to be? What would be the lineup that gets Johnny to go to?
Anytime Tool comes to town, I'll go see him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's my man.
Yeah. I mean, huh?
That's I said. That's my man. That's a good pick.
I mean, fucking Bruce Springsteen. I'll go see Willie anywhere just because he's a fucking legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I've seen Willie Nelson at a hippie festival.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy to watch him play because he's fucking 81 years old and he just goes out there and does it.
Yeah.
He's also a black belt. He just got his black belt like earlier this year.
In what?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu?
I don't think it was jiu-jitsu. I think it was karate or kung fu.
Yeah, karate. Yeah, it was karate. I think it was karate.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Willie Nelson just got his black belt. Ed O'Neill, that's Al Bundy for everyone else out there.
Well, jiu-jitsu for him.
Black belt too?
He's been a Gracie black belt for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's big. And there was a documentary or something where he was part of. Was it the Bruce Lee?
It was the Good Son.
Was it the Good Son?
He was friends with Boom Boom Mancini's family.
Okay. Maybe it was.
He's from Youngstown.
Yeah. It seems like I saw him in like
because
I just saw
Bruce Lee. He was also in the Bruce Lee one.
Okay.
Too.
Okay. That's okay. That all right. Cool. Yeah.
But yeah,
that's
he's
crazy
big into
though.
Martial arts, and no one who would ever think that Al Bundy is a fucking Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
That is pretty crazy, man.
Yeah.
That makes him cooler in my book. Like I already liked that dude. Like, but that just makes him like way cooler than I thought.
Yeah. Totally. I never had that channel growing up.
Oh no.
Because it didn't come in on the antenna. It came in sometimes. So like The Simpsons and Married with Children. Those were shows.
I remember going outside. My dad would have me turn the antenna. You know what I mean? Because we had an antenna that he put into a pipe so that you could turn it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember the football games and shit would be on, and it'd get fuzzy, and he'd say, go outside and turn the antenna. And it's so fucking weird thinking about that now.
Yeah, now it's the internet.
We are, like, fucking talking. Remember downloading porn for fucking, like, a day and a half to see.
Oh, and it slowly loads from top
like
down.
Dude, now if porn buffers, I'm like, fuck, there goes my boner. The buffering? Really? I have high-speed internet. I do a high-def podcast live on the internet, and I can't fucking watch goddamn anal destruction. It just doesn't... It's so unfair.
But I think it's funny, too. I just saw a post on Facebook the other day where someone's like, this is how we used to have to find friends back before social network and the internet and cell phones. And it was just a picture of a bunch of bikes in the front yard. and everyone's like, yeah, that was, and I look back at those days fondly too, but it's because I was a fucking kid.
Yeah.
Of course, the time that you were a child is gonna seem like the best time ever. Why? Because most kids had no fucking responsibilities.
Yeah.
You just went out and fucked off, hung out with your friends, came home, someone fed you, they clothed you, they paid all the bills, they get, and so that time's always going to be so awesome for anyone.
Yeah.
And the older you get, you're like, but to me, fuck that. Do you know how much more awesome it would have been if this technology would have been around when we were kids?
Well, yeah, last week when we had Needles on, how he's saying, I mean, he's a young dude, and he, started listening to fucking Death Squad. That was his thing while what grade? I don't remember what grade it was.
Seventh grade?
Seventh grade, Death Squad. And it's like,
fuck, man, I wish I was fucking 18 again.
Right, yeah, it's
goddamn, I'd
ridiculous.
Be unstoppable right now.
Imagine how easy school would have been with the internet.
Exactly. I remember people.
If you don't get your fucking homework done now, you have no excuse.
I got a story for that, man. When I was in like 11th grade, we had just got internet, and everybody hated writing fucking essays. So I used to go on the internet and like look up essays and then fucking just copy and paste.
Oh, yeah.
And sell them to people at school. And
there's the entrepreneur born.
Oh, man, that shit. Well, my entrepreneurship goes back way before that, man. Yeah. Me and my buddy used to, we had a tattoo parlor when we were in, what grade were we in? I'd probably say second grade.
Second grade tattoo
parlor? I was a salesman and he was the artist. He would draw shit. Like he would do tattoos on you with a permanent marker.
Okay.
And the old school permanent markers used to fucking stay on forever.
They were a little bit more true to their name.
Yeah, they had more
permanence.
Chemicals, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And, they also smelled better.
Yeah. I had a portfolio, dude, and I would just go around and people would say, hey, man, you want a good tattoo?
That's hilarious.
50 cents, $1, 75 cents. We used to hustle, boy.
That's crazy.
Me and my friends would build bikes. We would go around and like
steal shit.
On everyone's like spring cleaning day. There used to be a spring cleaning day where everyone could just throw all their shit on the side and on the sidewalk, and then fucking the town comes and fucking takes it all and throws it in the dump.
Yeah.
Just go out that day, grab a bunch of half bikes and pieces of shit and then we just disassemble them all, take all the parts that were different sizes, put them in their own tins, and then we would rebuild bikes. We were like 12.
Inventory, get all your shit together.
Yeah, like I need some bearings and I need a sprocket.
You guys were fucking making money. I was like, how do I build a DeLorean?
we didn't make a lot of money. It was more just us fucking playing with tools and building bikes, and then
you said bearings, and I used to skateboard, and I remember that was always the biggest thing. What kind of bearings do you have? It was like Swiss bearings or German bearings.
I used to rollerblade, and that was the big thing with that too. It's like what kind of wheels you rolling and what kind of bearings they got. You're like,
I used to rollerblade too, man. I saw a guy rollerblading the other day, and I was fucking actually kind of jealous. I was like, damn, man, that used to be fun.
Now, do you want me to cut that out of the show?
You can if you want.
That you're jealous of a rollerblader
how
as an
did
adult?
How did rollerblading get so vilified? Was it just?
I don't know, man. It was fucking fun, man. Like we enjoyed it.
I think it was
hockey was fun. Just blading. I had a pair of aggressive blades, so.
Dude, Airborne. You remember the show the movie Airborne?
Actually, I played hockey in that rink. I played hockey all growing up, and that rink with the chain link instead of glass that they play in that movie. That's in Hamilton, Ohio. It's right south of Dayton, just north of Cincinnati. And I'm like, I fucking played there like multiple times. It was cool to see that like somewhere that I had been.
On TV.
On TV. Movie. But yeah, that movie was the shit. That kid, surfer dude, comes to fucking Ohio, shows everyone how to fucking rollerblade, bro.
Bro, I'm bringing rollerblading back, bro. I just need to learn how to surf and then learn how to rollerblade.
He's on the wave in his fucking room and he's talking about it, all cool and shit.
It's ridiculous.
That was one of Seth Green's first roles.
Yeah, he was in that. Fucking redhead kid.
Fucking that movie's the shit. It's a who else was in that? Jack Black is in that.
Yeah, he was the asshole.
Goalie.
Goalie.
Yeah.
I never got into. I was always into skateboarding, so Gleaming the Cube was kind of my jam.
Christian Slater, right?
Yeah.
We skateboarded too, man. I mean, but you know,
I like skateboarding. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't
We all
either.
didn't have them. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up in a town that only had like 750 people. You know, so I graduated with 13 people in my class. So there was like 9 of us that we would always get together, you know, on the weekends and whatnot. And only 6 of us had boards. You know, or fucking one of our friends, he had 3 boards. And I remember his older brother, the fucking asshole, would make us do shit in order to get the board for the day. You know what I mean? Like,
what kind of shit you have to do? Back rubs.
I ate like fucking 7 jalapenos one time in order to get the board.
There you go.
But then you couldn't enjoy it because you're just crying the whole time.
They're gonna shit fire
the next
later.
day, man. The next day you are, not that day.
Yeah, that's I've been on the receiving end, and I'm pretty sure that my moving down to Houston and eating authentic Mexican food instead of the Ohio Mexican food, which is not that authentic, even though it's made by real Mexicans, just that people.
Like, what are the Mexican restaurants called?
There's Mi Tequila. There's and then there was El Tequila, but I just drove by that today, and it's something else already, and that was only open like 2 months.
My Tequila and the Tequila.
Yeah,
exactly. 2 tequilas.
Like, Ohio only understands tequila as being a
Rancho
Mexican word,
Fiesta.
so they're like Rancho Fiesta
And La Chorita.
Yeah, that sounds kind of authentic.
They're run by Mexican people. I see them in there. They're all cooking.
Well, that's just because they're cheap labor.
It's super gaudy.
Yeah.
It's always the super gaudy Mexican decorations, like over the top.
Oh yeah.
And always Mexican music being played.
Yeah, they got some good Mexican restaurants in Houston, man. The taquerias.
Yeah,
it's the little trucks on the side of the road are probably the best. Ray, you probably know about that.
Yeah, taco shops. It's not restaurants. Yeah. Fuck restaurants. You want taco shops, man. You want the small places.
Like I told Robert on our podcast, and I've talked to Mick.
Yeah.
I want the full Mexican Houston experience, like, because I don't get culture here. This is the whitest white fucking town ever.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be interesting. You're
No, I'm in Findlay, which is about 2 hours north of Dayton.
Yeah.
Hour and 45 maybe. But it's super Republican and super white, and
so those parts aren't really changing that much. I mean, the Republican part. Well, there's probably gonna be a lot of white people around you in your area.
Where I'll be living, there will be, but I mean,
yeah, you'll have to travel a little bit.
I'll have to go. If I'm doing comedy, I'll be going to comedy clubs. And
how's that going, man? Like, are you still doing it there?
It's slowed down a lot. I still don't have my license right now, so things are like driving.
In Ohio, you have to get a license to perform comedy.
I thought that's what he meant.
Yeah, I've said
a stage license.
They're like, you have to have
a license for
comedy?
Yeah, the haha license they call it sometimes.
It's hard to drive. Like, there's no places in my town. Like, the closest place is Toledo, and that's like close to an hour away.
Oh, you don't have a license right now?
No, I don't drive.
What happened?
I got into an ejection accident almost 4 years ago. And
you got fucking knocked out?
He was riding with 007, said some shit that he shouldn't have.
I got thrown out of the car, and I landed on my face in the road and scraped half my face off. And it was bad. But
so is it like a...
It's a mixture.
It's a mental thing for you?
Yeah, it's like I get panic attacks. I get like pretty bad PTSD from the situation. It's hard for me to ride in vehicles, especially if someone else is driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm more comfortable if I'm driving, but then I'm also too nervous to get my license. I'm working on it right now. Like, I'm in the process. I should have it back. Well, I'm gonna have it back before I move.
Dude, I read a fucking article the other day about ayahuasca and how it actually affects the brain. Are we friends on Facebook, Ray?
We should be. I don't know, man. I've probably friends with you a few times on Facebook. I don't know how often you change that. I'm friends with you a lot of places, many times. Let's put it that way.
I never change it, man. I've never changed my phone.
Then I probably am. Probably.
But I shared this thing I found the other day on ayahuasca and how it actually affects the brain, and how like that traumatic experience that he's talking about, how he relives it when you're in a car. You know what I mean? You get the anxiety or the panic attacks or whatever. It's like those memories are going through these certain transistors in your brain, and it creates. The more that it goes through, you know what I mean? They
strengthens the connection. Yeah.
Exactly. And what ayahuasca does is it forms new connections to go around those. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was weird, man.
Well, it'd be really nice to not, shit my pants 90% of the time when I'm in a car. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are certain people I ride with that if they are good drivers, I feel comfortable. But man, like my old roommate was a horrible fucking driver. Like every time we rode together, he's riding someone's ass like all the time, like hard on the brakes every time he needs to hit the brakes, like to the point where he would always laugh and think it's funny to freak me out. And I'm like, dude, do you realize how much of a dick you're being? Because that's like me coming back from war. And you
throwing fireworks in your bedroom.
Yeah, throwing fireworks behind me everywhere I walk and just laughing your ass off because it freaks me the fuck out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but I like.
Are you still friends with him?
Yeah, actually, I mean, it's a dick move, but I needed to fucking ride, man. What am I gonna do?
Keith is easy. He's friends with everybody.
Man.
There's just not a lot of people in his area, so he's just.
Sometimes you just got to take some shit. I mean, I know that he was thinking he's funny.
Yeah. You knew what he was doing, but it was still a dick move.
He doesn't. And most people don't. They don't truly grasp what.
Most people haven't survived being thrown out of a car with their face torn off.
People like get over it, and I'm like, that's an option. I wish that I could just be like, oh yeah, that doesn't freak me out anymore.
Yeah, why don't you just get over it, Keith? I mean,
I know. I'm just
fucking
being a pussy.
I'm gonna move to Ohio, where apparently there's a lot of vag people, a lot of pussies walking around.
Yeah, I mean, there's way more pussies here than in California.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Keith. You are right. But the ayahuasca thing, Amber Lyon, you know her?
Yeah.
Okay. She Rogan recommended her to do ayahuasca because she had a bunch of shit from doing the news and all that shit. Completely changed her life. She started doing the site reset.me and the podcast, which I started listening to. But yeah, it's all about, she's basically, instead of reporting on the quote unquote news that everybody else reports on or pretends to report on, she's reporting on all the plant medicines that are going on around the world and interviewing people like shamans and other people that have experienced it and all that stuff. And they, with the ayahuasca, with PTSD, they've been doing studies with MDMA, with helping soldiers coming back from the wars and all that shit. And, there's a lot of new kinds of medicines that can help with that. Keith, we should do a podcast, go down to wherever it is and do ayahuasca.
I doubt that you'll be doing a podcast while you're doing it.
That's right. We'll do one after. We'll do one before and we'll do one after.
Dude, you could probably do DMT and then do a podcast like as you're doing it.
No, not if it's good.
Have you done DMT before?
Yeah. Not if it's good. You can't. Right? You just fucking fall over.
I haven't done any psychedelics.
You just fall over.
If it's really good, I mean, I did
it, and
so that doesn't make for a good podcast.
I'd be like this.
I did it, and I never forget it. We had this 3-bedroom apartment with my ex, and she was gone. It was me and my little brother, and this crazy fucker, he did it on his own by himself. You know what I mean? And then told me about it and was like, hey, man, this is this new shit. And I had heard Rogan and everybody talk about it. And I was like, oh, no shit, you got your hands on that. And he brought some over, and I put it on top of a bowl of weed. And I felt like I was smoking crack or some shit.
Yeah, it makes you kind of feel like that. How much did you put on?
Probably in cocaine.
Yeah.
In cocaine context, I'd probably say 2 decent-sized bumps. You know what I mean?
So yeah, that's enough.
It was quite a bit. It was quite a bit, and it's probably 1/3 of a gram, maybe.
God
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, my little brother was like, "Yeah, just put this much on it or whatever." I don't even think he fucking knew. Neither one of us knew what was up. And dude, I sat down on my toilet and I hit it, and I had my records playing. It was God damn, who was playing?
Why on the toilet? Out of curiosity, like the most uncomfortable seat in the house.
Probably for
unless you're planning on shitting.
For the vent, yeah. That's
okay.
Exactly
okay.
What it's for. And I hit it, and all of a sudden, it felt like two trains were like I heard like just really loud.
Mm-hmm.
And I put my hands on my face, and I said, "Oh shit, you've done it this time." You know what I mean? Like you have fucked yourself up. There's no coming back from this because it was so intense. And I pulled my hands from my face and I looked down and I could see like my fucking blood like pumping through my veins. And it was the weirdest thing, man. It was I could see the stuff coming off, like notes coming off the record player.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden it was like, it's like everybody says, you see the geometric patterns and whatnot. I saw a white orb kind of in the corner of the room. And didn't realize, that I should try and interact with it or anything. I was just so blown away by the experience. That,
you can't really grab onto one thing in the experience like that and just try to pick that out because it's just so fleeting and you're trying to grab a hold of all of it with your brain.
There's so much.
How long does it last? Short,
5
right?
to 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 10 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, it seemed like a lifetime, but it was like 10, 12 minutes, man.
See, and then the ayahuasca thing, it's like
hours,
and you'd go there for a retreat. So it's like it's every day for like a week you're doing it.
Dude, I know a guy in fucking Canada. I don't know if he wants me to put it out there, so I won't say who it is, but he told me about it, and he said he knows a shaman that's actually moving there and opening up a temple.
There's
perform the deal, and
there's a lot of churches opening up from Amber Lyons' podcast. Apparently they're getting ayahuasca in the US through religious ceremonies. So it's like there's a lot of places in the US you can go.
I would only want to do that with a shaman though, or someone who's truly like that's not a recreational drug.
Yeah. Oh no, for sure. Yeah, it's not.
Take that to go fucking watch Pink Floyd laser show.
Fuck no, man.
No.
There ain't no way. I mean, that's the only way that I would want to do it is to actually gain something from it.
Yeah. Well, for all the throwing up that you're going to be doing, you really want to gain something from it by the end.
Yeah.
Well,
for sure.
I mean, I wouldn't want to.
You're like, I'm not going to throw up 26 times for nothing. I don't
even like fucking eating mushrooms and going to concerts or anything. You know what I mean? Like when I do hallucinogenics, I need to be like
in the woods is the best place.
In the woods, I went kayaking one time and ate a bunch of mushrooms, and that was pretty trippy. But I can't be in like places where there's a bunch of people.
Now, have you taken anything back? Like when you smoked DMT, was there any new? Did it I want to say change you, but it
gave me a new perspective on some things, man. You know what I mean? Like the conversation that me and my little brother had right afterwards was so deep, and
it does facilitate some really deep conversations right after.
Dude, it was during the day. The sun was out, and I went and I stood on our balcony, and I looked down, and I saw this tree surrounded by concrete. And damn near started crying, you know what I mean? Not like fucking crying, but I got like really sad because I was thinking like, how in the fuck is this thing surviving with like this little piece of fucking soil? Like where's all its roots going?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is wrong almost.
It's nature poking up from the freaking industrialization we've done.
Now
to the world.
When you did it, did you like what I felt the first time I did it was I had felt like I had been there before or that I had somehow done that drug before. Like I had that instant feeling where it felt very familiar.
After the first initial like, oh fuck, I got real calm and everything was like I knew everything was okay. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a familiarity. But it was more just kind of like
comfort.
Yeah, like this is cool.
But I had the overwhelming feeling that I had done this drug before, and full well knowing that I hadn't. Or if I did somehow, I was definitely blacked out at a place doing shitloads of drugs.
Or maybe when you got thrown out of a car, I mean, our bodies produce DMT, so maybe there was a point when that happened
that's true too.
Your brain's just like, we're going into survival mode right now, so you're going to be...
I'm going to blast you off to the moon.
Yeah, you're unconscious, so you're not going to remember all the shit that's going on, but we're going to take care of your emotional status a little bit.
The weird part is, like, I know that somewhere in my brain is that event. Well, no, besides the DMT being in there, but I don't remember my accident.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember I was in the bar, I was in the hospital.
But you had to survive the aftermath.
Of it in my brain every once in a while, but it never... It's like DMT, too. It's like nothing I can hold on to. They're memories, but I don't know if I created them or if they're actually memory. Like, some of the memories, I'm almost looking at me while it's happening. I'm like, this is not how I would remember this if I remembered it.
Yeah.
We did a show with Stone Temple Pilots out here one day. It was a couple years ago, and I had that same kind of experience. It was a long fucking weekend. I think we had done 2 or 3 shows back to back to back, and I hadn't had much sleep. And I was driving home, and it was after I had done DMT, and I'm driving, and I'm almost kind of zoning out, like on the way home. I probably lived like 20 minutes from the venue, and it's out in the country, you know, so it's real dark, and, you know, it's the hill country, man. It's not the city. And I saw myself from above. Like, the cab of my truck had disappeared. I could see myself driving for like 8 minutes. And it was so weird, man, because I wasn't on anything. It was just kind of almost like a flashback of, I don't know if it was the acid or what. I mean, it was so, it's fucking crazy, man. Sometimes I walk around and don't, it sounds like weirdo shit, but.
You're amongst weirdos.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm in a dream world or if I'm in the real world. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. I ate a shitload of psychedelics right out of high school. Like, just one time I ate 40 hits in a day. Like, not all at once, but through that day. And it was the second day of a 2-day festival. So I had eaten shit the day before, but it was a different batch. And then, so I started off with 8 the next day because you're supposed to double your dose. I did 4 the day before. So I started off with 8, and there was liquid. They were all in vials. So I dropped 8, and that's a puddle in your hand.
Yeah.
And I just lapped that up, and then throughout the day, I just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. And, that whole summer, I probably ate 300 at least hits in a summer.
Jesus.
See, my thing was when I lived in Florida for a couple years, man.
Yeah, that's always a problem.
Yeah.
I got real deep into fucking ecstasy, man.
Yeah, I did that too, and that fucks your brain up bad.
Oh, man, my buddy came up to me at one point and was like, "Hey, man, like, you need to chill out. What the fuck are you talking about?" I wasn't even fucked up at the time. It was like a Tuesday. He was like, "You know, you come up to me and you start talking about shit that I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about." Said your vocabulary is so fucked. I can hardly understand what you're saying most of the time. And yeah, man, I think I took like 30, 40 X pills one time over a weekend, and I did it consecutively for like 6 months. So I know there's some holes in there.
Well, you know, that was proven to be bullshit.
Yeah.
All that fucking story.
Holes in your brain,
that's bullshit.
That's what they're using for soldiers for PT. I mean, with ecstasy or with anything like that, where things can get cut up and added to it.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you have the pure thing, they're using it for post-traumatic stress disorder for soldiers coming back.
Well,
so
it was originally invented and used by psychiatrists to help like marriage counseling and shit like that. Back in the early 70s or late 60s, like in Seattle, is kind of where it didn't originate there, but they psychiatrists found out about it and started using it there.
Yeah.
And it was used as a therapy drug, and then it got big down in Texas, in the Houston area, and then it just kind of spread from there. But yeah, Houston was a big spot. I've watched a couple of rave documentaries or on ecstasy. But I mean, like you were saying, your friend called you out. That's where the term "etard" comes from. It fucking makes you retarded. Like I love the way it made me feel, and if I was around good friends, I had a good time, depending on what was going on. But just like with most other shit, I'd always take it to the limit to where like my eyes are just rolling back the whole time, and I'm
just like Brody Stevens with
sucking on
Lady
my
Boys,
teeth and
just pushing it to the limit.
yeah, just clenching the jaw and like
that's my problem, man. Anything I do, I push it. If somebody tells me, I remember this guy gave me some pills one time, and he was like, "Here, man, take one," and I took 4.
yeah, if one would be fun, 4 would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, no shit, man.
And then you're like, no, I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, well, one time my friend I broke my leg, and I didn't really have pain pills, and so I was fucked up. And he was like, "Hey, man, I got a pill for you." So he's like, "It's a morphine pill. It's a 60."
Yeah.
He goes, "It's a 60." And in my brain, like I knew what pills were, like I knew what the milligrams of oxys were and how much those fucked you up. But for some reason, it didn't click in my brain because it was a little yellow pill.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there and I was like, all right.
But
And I fucking popped the whole fucking thing on no tolerance to morphine.
Well, see, that's what the guy gave me, and he told me, he said, "Oh, you didn't take all those, did you?" It was fucking morphine, and I took 175 milligrams of it.
Oh man, it's 60.
And
fucked me up for 3 days.
Dude, that was the one time that I fucking like sat there and talked to God. Because we were drinking that night, and he told me, he said, "Man," he was like, "whatever you do, don't go to sleep, you know."
You were drinking with God?
No, I was drinking with my buddy.
Oh, it's like, we need to get into this conversation you had with God, because that's fucking interesting. I was
drinking, and he gave me the fucking morphine pills, and I like just ate them, and then he looked at me, and it was that Cheech and Chong moment where he says, "Oh no, don't take that, man." You know?
That's a slightly elevated difference.
Oh man, it was terrible. My heart was just, I swear it was going doom, 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 like just barely fucking pumping, man.
Yeah. That's. But did you get the waves? Like what killed me on it is because I didn't really crush it up, or I just took the pill, and it must have been time release. But 60 is so big that like I'd be up. And then I'd be just like all sweaty, fucking smacked out, and then all of a sudden I'd kind of wake up for a second, smoke a cigarette, and it felt like that cigarette just fucking kicked it into overdrive, and now I'm like fucking. And that happened for me. Like the one whole day was bad. The next day I felt fucked up the whole day, and then the third day I still was like catching small wakes of that throughout the day. I was like, God,
dude, it fucked me up for a couple days, but you know, at the time I was doing so much shit that
I had no tolerance.
Oh, I'm down. I'm fucking doing some coke. You know what I mean? So I'd do some blow and be wide awake and fine. But yeah, it lingered for quite a while.
You know, people always talk about how all these drugs are ruining. Like, I don't really. I've done a lot of drugs. It seems like your stories too. I don't really regret any of the shit that I did. There's stuff that I don't like, or there's stuff that I liked for a little bit and then don't do anymore because I know what the end result. Like I learned from it. I just didn't like. And
I don't regret any of it, man. I mean, you know, I don't do any of it now. You know, the only thing I'll do is psychedelics. You know what I mean? I don't, and I'll smoke a little pot here and there, but I don't fuck with any of the hard stuff just because I know where it ends. You know what I mean? I did heroin for a couple weeks one time, and I didn't shoot it or anything, but they called it monkey water, and I was just like sniffing it. And I was in Mexico at the time, and my buddy told me, he said, I got back to the States, and I was just like, fuck, my whole body was, I don't know if you guys have ever done heroin or not. But
that's the one thing I haven't.
Oh, dude, my whole body was just like achy and like my bones hurt. You know what I mean? And I called my buddy up and I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And he was like, well, you know, you've been doing heroin for
it's like just in case you forgot.
Yeah, but I wasn't doing that much. I was doing like a gram and a half, 2 grams a day. And he was like, well, that's what happens, man. Like, your body gets used to it, and you start jonesing for it. And I was like, so what the fuck do I do? And he was like, well, you got 2 choices, man. You can
keep going.
You can go search it out,
yeah,
you know, here in the States and fucking fix your sickness, or you can just fucking sweat it out. And he said, it's probably gonna take about 7 to 10 days, and I'll be damned if it didn't take about 9.
Yeah.
And it was the worst fucking feeling I've ever gone through in my life, because it was like you can't sleep, you can't eat, you can't fucking do anything because your body is just so It was terrible, man.
Yeah.
It was terrible, and I'll never do it again. You know.
Well, I mean, with up here, and I mean everywhere, really, the big problems like OxyContin's right now, or it was that got, now it's heroin, but Oxy's got everyone addicted.
I've done those a couple times.
I did it once. I didn't know what it was, and kind of like the morphine pill. Dude had an 80 and cut it in half, and an 80 it's so tiny, and he handed me this pill fleck, and I was like, I looked at it, and I didn't know what it was, and this was right after I spent the summer eating 300 hits of acid and whatever other drugs were at all these festivals, and I looked at him and I go, dude, I don't know if you know me, but I get fucked up. And I don't know what that's going to do to me.
I get fucked
up. My
up.
exact words.
Dandruff ain't going to do it.
And he goes, dude, just chew it up and shut up. And I was like, whatever. I chewed it up, and like an hour later, I felt like maybe I'd ate a Percocet. And then for every hour on the hour, for like 5 or 6 more hours, I progressively got more fucked up until, like, my friend who gave it to me is throwing up and shit. I didn't throw up, but it was just weird. Like I knew right then. I'm like, this is not for me.
I don't know. This was in my Florida days too. Again, and this guy, his name was JD, and he always had shit. He always had crazy shit. And he had an Xbox. And this is again when fucking Xbox had first come out. And this is when they were like, I don't know if you remember the wafers, but they were like the size of a 50-cent piece, and they were 80 milligrams. And he gave me, I mean, they're like fucking huge, man. They're like at least that big. You know, they're big, thick pills, and you can cut them into 4s. And we spent the whole weekend fucking playing Xbox and eating fucking Oxycontin. And it was just
that had to be the hardest Xbox playing.
Oh, dude, it was fucking crazy because it was some sneaking around game. I can't remember the name of the game, but you were like a thief in the night. You know what I mean? And it was just, I don't know. You had to pick locks and shit. It was pretty wild. Ray, you're real quiet, man.
I can't. I'm just listening. I've nothing to contribute. I have, I don't know.
Yeah, sorry. We hijacked the podcast and just talked about doing drugs.
No
the good old days.
That's all right. That's totally fine. Makes my job fucking easy. I don't give a shit. It's interesting too,
But yeah, like I didn't regret anything, and you sound like you don't either. And
it's all part of it, man. I think of Hunter S. Thompson and buy the ticket and take the ride. And
if I didn't do that, I wouldn't be me.
Exactly. That's the way I see it, man.
I don't think that's a good selling point, Keith.
It is for me. I like me. Okay. In fact, I play for myself quite often, so I love me.
It put me through a bunch of fucked up situations, but at the same time, when I look back on it, goddamn, I had a good time.
Yeah.
Like I
and
remember,
it really does open your mind. Like,
oh man, I went to Florida. I remember the first time. Real quick story about Florida, and this will be it about the fucking dong of America, because it is pretty fucked up there. But when I first started doing X, it was in Florida, and we were doing roofs, and I met this guy named Wu, and he was a Filipino dude, and I knew him through another guy. This guy told me, hey, go to his house, he'll sell you some fucking weed. So I go to his house, and he opens the door, and he's just like fucking B-boy, he's got his hat fucking to the side. Real cool guy though. And he invites me in. He's like, so what do you just want some weed? And I was like, well, yeah. He was like, well, how much? Just fucking 20 bag. This is back before fucking hydro and like really good weed. This is just dirt weed. And he's got all these chicks in his house. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? He's like, oh man, we're getting ready for a lock-in. And I was like, what the fuck is a lock-in?
Yeah.
And he pulls out this flashlight, like a mag light, the old big long mag lights. And he opens it up, and he pours out all these X pills. And he probably has like 200 of them. And I'm like, that's X? That's like ecstasy? And me being from a small town, dude, I had never done any of this shit.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, man. He's like, you want to stick around and party? It's like, well, who's all here? It's just you and all these chicks. It's like, yeah, it's just me and all these chicks. It was like, well, fucking A, hell yeah, I'll stick around. Dude,
and that's when you discovered you weren't gay.
Dude, we partied from fucking Friday night till Sunday night.
Fuck.
And I took like a half a bar to go to bed. You know what I mean? And
you had to have the come down package. I knew I knew that
man,
you had to have the come down package.
I used to carry fucking some Zanny bars like
Yeah, that's the mind erasers.
that's the one that just fucking I call them day erasers because you can't remember shit.
I lost an entire day on Xanax once. I had like 10 bars, and I popped one, smoked a bowl, smoked a cigarette, passed out, woke up, popped one, smoked a bowl, smoked a cigarette, passed out, and then all of a sudden I woke up and I was just so foggy and everything, and I'm like looking around, I'm like, where the fuck's my roommate? And I'm like, I flip on the TV and I've just got the worst Xanny hangover of all time. Like,
Yeah.
evidently I ate all 10 of those bars in 2 days. And when I turned on the TV, I was like, why the fuck are soap operas on Sunday?
Fucking Monday morning.
It was fucking Monday morning, and I worked second shift, and I woke up like when I realized this, I had like a half hour to get ready and go to work, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, still in slow-mo. My brain was just so slow-mo for like 3 days. Like, that shit's fucking it. I lost an entire day to Xanax once.
At that ex party, man, this chick walked up to me and was like, "Oh, you're gonna stick around and party, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." They were already all fucked up. And she said, "Watch this." And she pulled her nipple out, and she pushed her nipple in, and then it fucking popped back out. You know what I mean? Like in slow motion. And she was like, "I call that the muffin rising." And I was like, "What the fuck?" Dude, everybody was so cool. I mean, it wasn't just about like fucking and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it kind of is.
Yeah, if you wanted to, you could. And if she was down, then it was okay. And nobody.
A lot of back rubbing and laying around, just a lot of rubbing. And
I hold a bunch of stress in my inner thighs.
Don't we all? Don't we all?
Oh, yeah, but after a while, it's not fun anymore.
Oh man, it got to the point where I started.
You trash all the serotonin in your brain, and there's nothing left.
It was so. I mean, I'd have to eat them in the morning on Monday just to fucking be able to function. You know what I mean? And go to work, and we're on roofs and fucking. I mean, it was just crazy, man. When I think about it now, it's like, how in the fuck did you not like die? You know what I mean? Because as soon as I would peak, I'd pop another 2. Then I'd peak and I'd pop another 3. Then I'd peek and I'd eat another 4. And I remember one time this fucker laid out a whole line, and this is no bullshit, dude, on the table, probably a meter long, of fucking crushed up pills. And I started on one side and he started on the other side, and we fucking snorted to the middle. I mean, it was fucked.
It's like Lady and the Tramp.
That sounds like about.
Man.
What do you think? That's 6, maybe?
It was like 3 foot. I mean, it was.
But I'm saying
6 pills. Yeah,
probably about 6.
Yeah, 6 or 7. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. The amount of drugs I was taking.
And
the worst with ecstasy though is again, not hardly any 2 pills are the same. Some are super smacky, super speedy, and some when you snort them, it feels like you just snorted
fire
into your brain. And like there's nothing, you just have to deal with it. Like your eyes watering. And
you're just like, I was in North Carolina one time, and they had like some Percocets and some Xannies or some shit, and somebody had crushed them up and put them on the table. Or no, they were taking them and just eating them, and I was like, man, I'm from fucking Texas. Let me show y'all how we do this. And I fucking crushed them up, and I snorted it, and as soon as I fucking snorted it, it was just like right here. It was the worst feeling. It was like fucking lava in my nose, and I started screaming like, "Oh my God!" And everybody looked at me and said, "Oh, you're from Texas."
Yeah, it's like, is that what they do in Texas?
You're a fucking idiot. Like, why would you snort that? Everybody knows that burns like a motherfucker. You know.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was always weird with the pills. Like I remember my little sister and her friends. Like I let them party at my house once. They were underage, but I was like, all right, if you guys want to drink some beers, you can come to my house. But I was like, I'm taking everyone's keys right away. Ain't nobody leaving my house. And I left them there for a minute to go get them some beer and myself. And when I came back, like I had a coffee table with like 3 slate top pieces in like a wood frame. And I just see this gagger, like a foot long and just super wide. Like, and I was like,
What the
what the?
fuck
And
is
I
a
just
gagger?
a gagger is a
Big
extremely
line of
long
coke.
Okay.
line.
That's what I'm
And
here for. I'm here to
well,
ask the hard questions.
it's because you snort it, you can't get all the way. It makes you gag because
Uh-huh.
clogs
You
up
ever
the back.
Seen Blow? Have you ever seen the movie Blow?
Yeah. Well,
You know,
a
when
long
he's
time ago.
snorting into the fucking bag and he's like, like throwing up.
Yeah.
That's a gagger.
He did a gagger. So it's
Well,
pretty
I
a
thought
literal
that-
explanation of what's
I come
going
back
on.
in my house and my sister and all her 19-year-old friends are sitting around a goddamn gagger on my coffee table, and I'm like, so I walk by it like I don't even see it. I put the beer in the fridge and I start to walk back out, and before I get back out in the living room, I hear it go, "Hey, do you want some Vicodin?" And I just started laughing to myself. I go, "Well, if you got a pill, I'll take it, but I ain't trying to." Because Vicodin, if you crush a Vicodin up, it's a line this big, one Vicodin, and it's like to get through the whole thing. The reward to to the work you're putting in is not worth it.
No.
And I'm just like, yeah, give me one. So they handed me a couple, and I ate them, and I go, you dumb fucks can snort on that all you want.
But it's
Let's
cool.
change the
though.
conversation. What's up, Ray?
I don't know,
Jesus,
man.
like
We're
talking
actually
all about
almost.
drugs and shit.
I know. Well, you know,
It's all sweaty, like.
Yeah, I'm starting to fucking.
flashbacks.
I gotta take a shit now. I'm thinking about code.
I don't know, man. It's just I don't know. We're getting close to the 2-hour mark, so it's, you know.
We're going past 2 hours, fuckers.
All
Y'all
right.
want me on here? We're on here.
We can do that. We can definitely do that. Not saying anything. So Izzy sent a tweet out saying he wanted to hear a specific story.
Okay.
Do you remember that tweet
About smoking pot with.
Willie Nelson going on a cross-country car ride with him?
I didn't go on a cross country car ride. I don't know where he
Fucking
got that
Izzy.
from. I don't know where he got that from.
Yeah.
I did drive from fucking New York back to Texas by myself with a fucking 32-foot trailer and no
Jesus.
money. But
What was that for?
I went up to that was for the festival that we went and did at the Woodstock grounds. But
We as in you and Willie?
no, me as in me and another guy from
Okay.
Canada that I was working for
Okay.
at the time. Because see, we rented a roof from him for the venue here in town, well, here in Texas, and he just asked me if I wanted to go work this festival with him, so I went, and I was supposed to go directly to Toronto with him, but he had rented this fucking RV pull behind and the truck from Texas, so it had to get back to Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to go to Toronto to do another event. I had to drive to Texas by myself. That may be what he's talking about. I don't know. As far as smoking pot with Willie, him and my grandfather are pretty good friends.
Mm-hmm.
They've done probably 100 shows together over the years.
Yeah.
And he had cancer. My grandfather had cancer, and we went to see Willie play in San Antonio. And we went on his bus. And, you know, it's always weird because I've met him a few times, you know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
he's so humble and he's just like your grandpa. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? He's just kind of there, just chilling, you know. And I never really say much. I just go kind of always hang out in the back. And, you know, if I'm addressed, I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I don't go up to him, and I don't go up to any of the people that play here and fucking ask for autographs or any of that stupid shit. Because, you know, in my mind, I'm working, they're working.
Yeah.
They
You're just doing your job. You don't need to shake their hand, or you can shake their hand and be like, "Hey, have a good show." Like I knew a lot of guys in a lot of big bands, or I've met them through the years. I don't have autograph one, or there might be one picture, but I didn't take it. Someone else did.
Yeah,
But hey, have a good show.
Yeah, I don't play that shit, man. You know, and anybody that I bring here, it's like, you know, if I let you backstage,
don't be
stay
a
the
dick.
fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
If other people are getting pictures and autographs, then hey, it's cool to go up to them. But don't be the guy to start it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's fucking terrible, man. Like I see them and I just think, God damn, like they must get tired of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Or
and
just like coming up trying to have conversations with him, and they're like, "What?"
yeah. I had a guy come back one time that knew we did Sublime with Rome, and he knew the bass player or some shit. And he was like, "Man, I want to see backstage." And I was like, "All right, well, I'll take you back there. Just fucking chill, you know."
Yeah.
First thing he does, "Hey man, you remember me? I'm from fucking Cabo, you know."
Remember
like,
me?
Dude, get the fuck out of here, man. You know. So back to the Willie story. So it's raining like a motherfucker, and my grandfather's like, "Well, I'm gonna go on the bus and talk to Willie for a second." And I'm never one to tag along, you know, but we've done him here probably 5 times, 6 times, so I know all the road guys.
Mm-hmm.
And his security manager was like, "Man, go on the bus. It's cool." So I go on the bus, and he's sitting there with my grandfather, and there's a bunch of fans in line getting autographs and shit. And they all get out, and they leave, and him and my grandfather are just talking, and he's like, "So how's that thing going, you know?" And they talk in their own language, you know what I mean? He didn't say, "Hey, how's your cancer doing?"
Yeah.
But he was like, "Hey, how's that thing going, you know, with your stomach?" And my grandfather was like, "You know, it's all right. It's moving along." And Willie said, "Well, hell, let's smoke one." And he pulled out a joint, you know, I swear to God, probably as thick as my finger, you know. And he fucking lit it up, and he passed it to my grandfather. And I was just like watching my grandfather to see if he was going to hit it. And sure enough, he fucking hits it. And I'm like, what the fuck? So he passes it to me. And I'm just kind of like, fuck it. So I start smoking it, and I hit it 2 or 3 times, pass it to Willie. And he goes around like twice, and I'm not a big pot smoker, so I'm fucking high as shit.
Yeah.
And
Willie ain't smoking no dirt weed.
Yeah.
No. I mean, it was I was fucked up. So his tour manager comes in, and he's like, "Hey man, you got 15 minutes." And my grandfather's like, "Well, I'm not gonna hold you up, and I'll let you go." You know? Like, "Nah, hold me up, sit here and talk with me," you know. So they're sitting there talking, and I'm just blazed, tripping the fuck out because I'm sitting there with Willie Nelson and my grandfather, high as fuck.
And we all just got high together. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was just nuts, man. And you know,
the first time I smoked with my grandfather, I smoked with Willie Nelson too.
Yeah, I mean, it was just really, it was so crazy, man. So I step off the bus, and there's like a county sheriff guy, you know, like uniform and the whole 9. And I know he smells the weed on me. It's fucking reeking.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You doing all right?" I look at him, and I'm like, "I'm doing great." I said, "Are you doing all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." I walk to the corner because we're backstage, I walk to the corner of the building, and it's right next to the stage access. And my grandfather comes stumbling out. You know, he's a guy that talks to everybody all the time. And kind of the old Irish guy, man. I mean, he talks to everybody, knows everybody. And Willie comes out, and he stops, and he looks at me, and he says, You having a good time?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm having a great time." He's like, I said, "Are you having a good time?" He said, well, hell yeah." He said, "I guess I'm gonna go up here and do this one more time." And he walks on stage and starts playing fucking Whiskey River, man. I mean, it was just so fucking. And I know people, all sorts of people who hasn't smoked pot with Willie Nelson. You know what I mean? That I have.
It's like, Jesus.
But I'm saying, like, you know, there's a lot of people that smoke.
Yeah. I mean, that's a story.
He's 80 years old, and he's been traveling the country for as long as.
And if you have smoked with him, that is a story you go to, like him or Cheech and Chong, like
or
if there's
Snoop Dogg. Like these are all people that have.
Yeah, you're gonna hear those stories. You're not gonna hear like I smoked weed with Keith Spurlock.
My best story is like I got high with Joey Diaz.
Yeah,
that's awesome though.
Yeah,
it was great. Him and Brian, we were standing outside of which was crazy too, because this is in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah,
this isn't backstage. This is in front of the venue.
Yeah.
In a residential area, and you know Joey, I don't give a fuck, son, light it up right now. And
he doesn't give a shit.
And he was serious, and we're just sitting there, just like a whole crowd of Death Squad fans, and Brian and Joey, and we're all taking pictures and talking, and that was the show Izzy got his plug at the beginning of Tales from the Hard Side.
Oh, yeah.
Joey and Brian Brian couldn't say Tales from the Hard Side.
Yeah.
Tales
of the hard side.
Yeah,
mine was at the Comedy Store in LA last summer, and it was just a huge circle in the parking lot. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was like that whole week was insane because it was me, and then I met with Yuck and everybody. We had like a place for like a week, and we went to the Comedy Store a few nights, and then there was just one night where it was ridiculous. And, it's just one of those things where it was similar to, like, your story where it's just, you get so fucking high, and I had to tap out and go into the belly room.
And then ridiculous. Because when you're smoking, when you go to a Joey Diaz show, and especially it was like early Death Squad, too, when it was a lot tighter knit, and we were all going gung-ho.
Yeah.
Like, everyone brought weed for him.
Yeah.
So literally everyone, it was like 5, 6, like a blunt and 4 joints just going around at once, like in a weird mix mash figure 8 circle, and you're just like going like this.
Yeah.
And Joey's just chiefing away, loving it.
I can't do it, man. I don't see how they.
Dude, and you see Joey smoke. If you see the Getting Dug with High with him, it's just like he's a fucking chimney, man. Like he on that show. I don't know if you guys have seen or watched that show, but it's like out of everybody, he's smoked more than everybody has in the entire show on that one episode. Like it's just billows of smoke coming out of him. It's insane. And he's like on point, like, ultimate Joey Diaz.
Yeah.
And he probably ate a Chiba Chew on the way there.
Fuck yeah. They actually ate Chiba Chews at the start of that episode, I think. Which it probably hadn't even kicked in, but yeah.
On the stage show, though, Joey was on one of the stage shows, and he didn't say a whole lot. But there were a lot of other people, and I've noticed when Joey's in like with a bunch of comics, like if it's like one or two, like Joe and him, or Joe and Eddie and him, and Brian, like he's all in it. But when it's a bunch of comics, probably that he doesn't hang out with all the time, like he gets quiet.
Yeah. Unless every once in a while you'll get that Ice House Chronicles where he talks about Lucy Snorbush.
Yeah, that's
the one where he
ate her pussy on a Quaalude. Yeah,
like a savage.
Yeah, climbed up through her window.
And you know what? Man. Like everyone said, that dude is the nicest fucking dude I've ever met.
They, the majority of them are, man. Like we did a show with Cheech and Chong, and they were so fucking cool, man. My little brother got a tattoo on his wrist, like on the top part of his wrist, of Cheech, and. Like I said, I'm not the guy that like fucking comes up and hey, can I have a picture, this and that. My little brother wanted to get to meet him, and I said, well, look, after the show, they'll do a meet and greet.
Yeah.
You guys can go backstage and fucking just get in line.
Was that at your venue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a like a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Okay.
And my little brother shows Cheech his tattoo. And Cheech is like, man, that's fucking badass, man. Can I get a picture of that? So he pulls out his cell phone and takes a picture of the tattoo. And I took a picture of it. And, like, to see my little brother fucking, like, enjoy that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking cool.
That's almost more enjoyable than when you get to meet him when you see somebody else who's, is a big fan. You're like, yeah, there you go.
Dude, I see him, and it's just kind of like, I think it's because I work here.
Yeah.
I don't, like, freak out, you know what I mean? Billy Gibbons was out here one day, and I was walking by, and he was like, hey, you got a light? And I gave him a lighter for...
That's where your lighter went.
Yeah.
If he didn't ask you for a light, you wouldn't have had to find matches.
You don't hand Billy Gibbons your lighter and then wait for him to hand it back. You just give Billy Gibbons your lighter, right?
No, I gave him the lighter, and then he lit his cigarette, and he gave it back.
Oh, shit. I'd have been like...
He said, man, it's kind of cold this morning. I said, yeah, it is kind of chilly, man. We got some hot breakfast over there and coffee if you want it. And he was like, yeah, I guess I'll get some in a minute. And he fucking walked over. I mean, it's just kind of like that passerby type thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're regular people. They are,
man.
A lot of people know who they are.
People don't realize that they're just dudes that know how to fucking play the guitar and...
It's because you have people like Kanye and Justin Bieber and all these people that think they're gods and weird shit.
Oh, they're fucking idiots, man. They won't be Justin Bieber won't be around fucking 10 years from now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've noticed that rock stars in particular are usually not just rock, but like I don't know, that genre of, they were regular dudes playing in garages.
See, I think it's the instrumental part of it, man.
They're artists.
If you're playing an instrument, it's a little bit different than being a rapper, in my opinion. You
rappers me, rappers me, and if you're in a band, you're in a band.
Yeah, I mean, well, not only that, but like even on like these fucking like American Idol and whatnot.
Yeah.
I hate it when it's just a guy up there singing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's just like.
Well, and then you look at like fucking Bieber and those other pop stars where they don't even fucking write. There's like 20 producers and 5 writers for this shitty lyric song where there's no actual, the artist isn't creating. I don't know about Bieber himself, but there's no artist creating the shit. It's like, it's a lot of it's manufactured pop shit that they just go out there and they perform it
through the filter and they fucking figure out what's gonna sell the most records, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I guess it's like a process, but I don't know. I don't know if you don't play an instrument, you're not too high on my list as far as talent. You know what I mean? Unless you're just like a really like Michael Bublé. I mean, that motherfucker can sing. You know what I mean? Like, he can sing.
A soft place for Bublé.
Yeah, I don't know if he. I mean, I don't have a soft place for him, but I'm just saying, like,
it's okay if you do.
Unless, like, Bieber, yeah, you can play the guitar, but you're a fucking douchebag.
Yeah,
you know
that
too.
Like,
but at the same time, he's fucking 20 years old and he has all this money. I'd probably be a douchebag too if I had that much money and all these fucking little teeny boppers on my dick constantly.
True,
you
definitely.
know?
Yeah, I wouldn't want. That's not like a lifestyle that I would go for. Certain people want that. Yeah, certain people want that lifestyle.
I know people that want it, man, and it's a sad thing.
Yeah,
it's like watching them. You know, like I know this girl that she told me the other day. She was like, "I want to be famous." And I was just like,
that's not a job.
Good luck, man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is now if you're like a Paris Hilton or a Kardashian, where you can that's your job is just to be famous. You don't really create shit. You're just famous. You're somebody they talk about.
I went and saw Kanye at the X Games here in Austin like a month ago or whatever, and I was backstage and I saw fucking Kim Kardashian, and her ass is like flabby as fuck, man.
Is it just too much? It looks like it would just. You're like,
it's ridiculous. I mean, it's almost like Coco. You know what I mean? Like fucking Ice-T's chick, but she works out. Like
they're both super short. Like her and Coco are both like 5'2". Like no one realized.
She was small as fuck, but I saw her and I was just like, what the ugh. That's gross.
Yeah.
She got famous by being Paris Hilton's friend and sucking Ray J's dick.
That's so ridiculous, man.
Like that's how she got famous.
Yeah.
Like her parents are rich.
Well, she has a name that's recognizable from the O.J. Simpson trial.
Wow, that's something awesome to be remembered.
No, but I'm just saying there was.
I know what you're saying, but
people growing up in the '90s who were stupid just are like, I recognize that name, so she must be famous.
So Kardashian was a lawyer, or was it Shapiro?
Her dad was part of OJ's defense. There was Robert Shapiro, there was Kardashian, and then there was.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
He had a whole team. They called them the Dream Team, the lawyers.
Yeah.
He got the most expensive, most seasoned defense lawyers, put them all together,
and it worked.
And got off on murder.
Yeah. And last time I was in Vegas, they had the Bronco outside the hotel I was staying at.
Get the fuck out of here, the actual Bronco.
I took a picture of it. It's online, so it's probably on my Instagram. But it's like
the Bronco's still on tour.
yeah, it's making money. It's I was outside the door, roped off with those little pull string, fucking whatever they are. But yeah, I was like, I mean, how many people even know? Like, unless you grew up around that time, like kids know.
Did you watch it? Did you watch the chase?
Yeah.
It was going on when I was in like fucking 6th grade, man. I remember seeing it. And like we went to the office and we were watching it at the TV in school.
Yeah, we were watching it in school too. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
we watched the OJ verdict in school.
Yeah.
On every TV.
That was like the first huge court case, and then there was like a huge flood of court cases.
Anthony Ramsey, remember that one?
Yeah, but I think I was out of school.
That was after though, right?
Out of school.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's when court cases started getting interesting. They like court channels. They were like channels dedicated to shows. I mean, there was like they had like the public court or the people's court or whatever, but that was like the first publicized
Judge Joe Brown.
Legit.
Judge
Yeah.
Brown, Judge Jude. There's been a million judges.
Oh
man.
yeah. But it's like it kind of started. That's where Hollywood is like, oh, this legal system shit could be money for us.
Yeah, that shit's. People are retarded, man. I'm glad I don't have TV. And...
Yeah.
Nancy Grace is still making money off that wave.
Oh yeah. Well,
Who?
there's
Nancy Grace.
Oh yeah, fuck her.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I've never met anyone that's like Nancy Grace. I like her.
Top mom.
I haven't heard anybody say that, but I'm sure I've met people that.
What was her name? That chick that killed her baby. Yeah, when that thing was going on, fucking Nancy Grace. God damn. She looked like a fucking pro.
I love Rogan's impersonation. I mean, we've done it on our podcast.
Yeah.
With dead babies in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fucking retarded.
Yeah.
She's another one against the weed and all that shit, which is she's super cool for that.
I met a lady over here not too long ago. She was anytime anybody comes out here, they always, refer to Willie Nelson because they think that he owns part of it or some shit because he's played here so many times.
Yeah.
And she started talking about him, and she was like, "So do you know Willie?" It's like, "Well, I've met him a couple times. I don't see how he's still going with all that pot smoking that he does. I mean, he probably didn't have any brain cells left." And I was just like,
he stole all of yours, idiot. That's what he did.
Yeah, you feel that. I mean, and if you're ever around him and like you hear him talk, I mean, like he's so on point. If you watch any of the like even the shit where he was with Piers Morgan and what was the other guy when he was on Larry King that one time? And when he
he's
gets
on the ball.
He is fucking on point, dude. Like the time that I smoked with him, there was a guy asking him about his shoulder. You know what I mean? Because he had fucked his shoulder up or some shit, or it was in the news that he fucked his shoulder up. And he asked him once, and Willie didn't even like acknowledge it. And he asked him again, and he was like, "Oh, everything's cool." And then he asked him again, and Willie was like, "It's nothing to talk about."
Yeah.
And I was just like, he really played it off so, like, gee, you know what I mean? Like it's nothing to talk about, and he just fucking continued his conversation.
Yeah.
I mean,
when you get that age, and it's like it's not like he needs to kiss up to the public or the media.
You got no time for bullshit today.
Yeah. Well, that too. But it's like if you don't want to answer a question, you don't have to fucking answer a question. It's not like if you're an up and coming artist, you're like, I'll answer fucking anything. Ask me anything and I'll answer it and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I'll make shit happen. But it's when you get to a certain place, you're like, I don't need to do this. I'm good. I can go do a show anywhere, and people will go see me. But
we had a show with him one time, and I was sitting there talking to his bus driver, and at the end of all his shows, he always goes out to the crowd, like at the front of the stage, and he signs people's shit. And it takes fucking 20 minutes to get him off stage.
Mm-hmm.
And the bus driver looked at me and he said, "God damn, I wish his people would learn. That man's fucking 80 years old. He's got to pee."
Yeah, I never thought about that. God damn.
Get on stage for fucking 90 minutes and fucking spend another 20 fucking signing autograph.
Well, maybe he's like
the 2-hour podcast without pissing, and I'm not even drinking beer.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, you got a bottle next. I mean, he's probably trained his bladder. His bladder knows. It's like, I got this. It's like a really large bladder.
I wonder how many bands have cut sets short because the lead singer had to piss or shit.
I've never seen it.
Yeah, we got one more song. It's like, fuck, man, I'm about to shit my pants. Like,
I'm sure they know. They can just go riff. I gotta go take a massive dump. Just give me a minute. Pinch one off.
Play it off.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't had really too many like weird experiences here, man. Normally everybody just comes, does their thing, and then goes.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you're. I mean, I'm happy for you, bro. Way better than
it's fun, man. I mean, it's stressful as fuck sometimes.
Yeah.
Because it is a business, and it's not always like I was saying earlier, people think that this shit is like so much money, but there's so much that goes into it. And
yeah.
Every show is a gamble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a roll of the dice, and at the end of the day, even if you don't sell the tickets, you still got to pay the guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they don't give a fuck.
Running a big venues, like you're betting the bank on. You're all in on every show, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy, man.
If this doesn't work out, we might have a rough time for a little bit.
We did a show last year with fucking Rick Springfield that just tanked, and it was a terrible fucking Jesse's Girl.
Yeah,
Jesse's Girl, and I was pissed off that day, man, because it was terrible.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
You get like a few hundred people to show up, and
it was like 800 people, man. It was all these fucking old ass ladies that were like teenagers when he came out, and he was just being a dickhead on stage, like starting the song.
It's a bunch of old ladies that have gone out with Jesse in the past.
Yeah, then he wouldn't play it, and he fucking.
It's like, but I'm his girl.
He'd start it and then he'd stop it, and he'd start it and he'd stop it, and it was just like, play the fucking song, get off the fucking stage, and get the fuck out of here, please, because I'm tired of you.
Yeah.
We're already broke now because of you. Just get the fucking play the song, play Jesse's Girl, and shut up.
But it was pretty bad, man. It was a bad deal from the beginning, anyways.
Yeah.
There was another guy booking at the time, so it is what it is. But it's a fun job, man. Like I said, I like it. I enjoy it most of the time. I'm getting to go to New York City next week to do Electric Zoo, this fucking EDM festival.
Oh, wow.
And
cool.
So you're going to be kicking it with a bunch of etards then?
I guess, man.
Bunch of young...
We did that Mysteryland thing in New York, and it was the same thing. I mean,
It'd be a lot easier to quell the crowd. Like if shit starts popping off in the crowd, you're like, well, you fucking etards can't stand up. Come here.
It was cool at first, man, because it was more visual than anything, because they built this stage that looked like a house of cards, and it was all about presentation.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see I haven't been to any EDM. That's not my scene, but you see the videos, and it's like fucking crazy, man. The things they're doing.
Oh man, we do a paint party here called Life in Color every year, and they basically just spray the crowds with this fucking neon colored paint. It is ridiculous, man. Like, these people go crazy for it. I mean, it's nuts. I was walking through the crowd, and I got to the barricade area, and one of the stagehand guys that I know was like, he handed me one of those, those guns that you fucking suck water up and then you shoot. Yeah. Handed me one, and it was paint. He was like, look in the crowd, and it was like this chick, like, with her fucking tits out. He was like, spray her, man, spray her. And I sprayed her, and I was just like, what the fuck? He's like, it's fucking fun, right? And I was like, I can't believe these fucking people just like go crazy over this shit. Yeah. We sold it out, 7,500 people, man.
Ecstasy's a hell of a drug.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had any of that. I can't say that they did or they didn't.
If it was a Deadmau5 concert, nobody does ecstasy.
Yeah, no one.
Concert. Yeah, that's for sure.
We've done a couple shows with him, man. He puts on a hell of a...
Does he?
Yeah,
I think he has one of his shows on Netflix. I think I watched once.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have the crazy, just the visuals, the projection, how they do, like, they play around with perspective and make it look 3D and shit.
He's got this cube, man, that he sets up in front of his DJ booth, and it's all LED screens.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking nuts, man. It's pretty cool. His fucking head is got air conditioning in it and all kinds of shit. It's pretty crazy, man. It's like
these EDM festivals. Weirdly enough, the first festival I went to, like before the Hippie Fest, was at a Hippie Fest campground, but it was a traveling rave back when the rave scene was popping in the late '90s and early 2000s. And I didn't understand the music really at that time. I was, just graduated from a village in Ohio, northern Ohio. I don't know nothing about ecstasy. I'd never heard of ecstasy. I'd never really heard rave music. And then all these kids were all candy kids. Yeah. So they're all decked out and got the doctor's mask on, or got the pacifiers and glow sticks, and just, just have as many accessories as one person can possibly fit on a body.
Accessories.
and I'm just there tripping out on acid, making fun of these people with all like I had some older friends that lived there, like they had a camper there at this Hippie Fest campground, and this was just a one-off show they had there. But someone died that night. Someone drowned in the pond. It was fucked up. We didn't even know till we left. But yeah, someone died at that rave. But I will say this. I really wish that I would have been into that scene when that happened, because it was fucking crazy. Like, I had fun doing what I was doing, but later on, you know, I had actually went to other raves and finally tried ecstasy. But you couldn't convince me back then to try it, because $20 a pill versus I could buy a sheet for $100. I don't see how this evens out here. So I was, fuck that, $20 for one?
Yeah. I used to get them for like $5 a piece, $3 a piece when we bought them in bulk. But
well, yeah, I mean I learned that later. But I mean, just random people walking around at festivals selling shit. They're going full retail.
Oh yeah. There's a markup on that.
Fuck yeah, man.
All right, guys, let's wrap this fucking shit up.
2 hours and fucking 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Man.
Fucking good. We need to get you back on here more often. It's been way too long.
Yeah, man. We'll fucking do it again. I'm down.
Cool.
Or whatever. When I got the time. You know what I mean?
For sure. Awesome.
And when I move down there, I'm sure we'll hook up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Give me a shout, man.
When I sell my place, I'm planning on doing like a road trip to meet a bunch of people. So I'll have to swing by.
Fuck yeah, man. Do that. Hit me up on Twitter, and I'll give you my number when you get down here. Give me a shout. We'll fucking hang out.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I got people to show me Houston. I need someone to show me Austin. It's only 2.5 hours away from the west side of Houston.
Yeah, it ain't that far, man. I might not be the person to show you Austin because I haven't been there in quite a while. I mean, like I said, I hardly ever go downtown anymore. I mean, I know where it's
I'm
all
sure
at.
You know that place a whole lot better than, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Random fucking people.
Yeah, no, I'll take you down there, man. We'll go to fucking, what is it, Cap City Comedy Club and check that shit out.
Cool.
Yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Thanks a lot.
Man.
Where can promote your shit? Where can everybody find you if you want them to find you?
Oh man, I'm on Twitter at NoFunJohnny.
Boom, no fun. Don't follow him unless you're looking for no fun.
Yeah, don't follow me, man.
He's just gonna change it again. I know he says he's not going to, but
I used to do the podcast and I fucking miss it. And you know, when I stopped doing it, like I got off Twitter and the whole nine.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, it's kind of changed a little bit on Twitter. Like,
yeah.
I don't talk to fucking anybody really on there.
Yeah, I reset my Twitter and just kind of going back from the start.
It's totally different, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not what it was when we first started, because that, fuck.
It got too saturated. You know, when everyone's got Death Squad in their bio, and they follow you, and then you're like, oh, cool, we're spreading this community. But I mean, you're bound to, you get a few thousand people, you're bound to get some dickheads, and there were some definite splits and factions, and it's
oh man, I used to watch
high school drama.
And, what's his name, Mighty Far or whatever. He would always get into some shit. And the whole Monkey Todd situation, that guy was fucking psycho. But
he's just dehydrated, bro.
I guess, man. I guess. I don't know. It changed quite a bit for me, man. So I'm not like, oh yeah, follow me on Twitter. Because I don't even have anything to fucking do anymore.
No.
I don't do the podcast, so it's like.
Yeah, man. Fucking do what you want to do.
Yeah, man.
And what's the website for your venue? So if anybody's in Austin, they can go check out some awesome shit.
www.thebackyard.net.
It's how long it's been since you've been online that you're still doing the wwws.
Well, thebackyard.net.
There you go. Upgraded. Fuck yeah, man.
All right, man.
Thank you for coming on. Love you, brother. And we'll be in touch for sure.
All right, give me a shout.
All right, cool. Keith.
Later.
Oh.
All right, cut it off, damn it.
No, it's because
we got to do the outro.
Yeah, we're doing the. Yeah, this is live, bro. Keith, where can everybody find you?
Oh,
yeah. I thought you were gonna hang up. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes people stay. Sometimes people leave. It's like Yeah. Anyway, Keith.
I'm on Twitter, Keith Spurlock 1, or just Google me.
Google him. He's very famous in the Googles.
Number one
at Ray Taylor on Twitter. Go to inspireddisorder.com. Check out all my artwork and 40 sacks, t-shirts, all that stuff. Save 10% by using coupon code INSPIRED when you check out, and you'll help out the podcast and help out my big move, early retirement. Check out the other podcasts on the feed too, and inspireddisordercollective.com. Do all those things, motherfuckers, and we'll be back again next week.
Hey, before you hit that
Jesus
outro
Christ.
button.
Yeah.
Did I fuck it up?
No.
I got one question, man. Does Mish still do her podcast?
Mish the Dish?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Does Mick still do his?
I don't think he's podcasting. He's still on Twitter though. But Mish is on iTunes and Stitcher and the Collective still.
I got you. I'll get on there and check it out, man. I didn't mean to fuck up your outro. Go ahead.
There's not a whole lot of us original ones left, but it's like Izzy, Mish, us.
Yeah. Izzy's still doing his. Izzy's doing 3 podcasts now. Mish is doing hers. Yeah. And then yeah. But fuck yeah, man. You'll get back into the fold.
All right.
Somehow. And I'll get back to the outro music. All right, everybody. Check us out. iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, Vimeo, Ustream.
Or just come to my house.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast.
Masturbate on his front yard.
Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns. Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction, anal leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.